Yeah, Ankita, yes, scheduled classes, 10 o'clock. Uh, that's what, if you have seen the schedule. So if you have looked into the schedule, I'll just open the schedule as well. Okay, this is how it looks like. Okay. So uh, actual topics we'll be starting from Monday, but before that, we ensure we make it a point. That's why we start in a way a little early so that you also go through the NCRTs, right? So yeah, today we'll have an intro session. Tomorrow, I'll quickly run you through the 11th NCRTs. There are two NCRTs of class 11, and then there are two NCRTs of class 12. Okay. And we want people to spend time going through it. Okay. Because the two NCRTs would take some time, even if you spend about 2 hours each day or more than 1 hour or so. That's why we have given a gap of 5 days so that you make sure you go through the NCRTs. And the actual classes of the subject per se would start from 15th, and all of those classes would be at 10 a.m. Okay. I understand some of the people might be having some commitments with respect to work, क्योंकि कोई भी हम time set करेंगे किसी ना किसी को तो problem होगा ही, right? So we have to decide on one time and then, okay. But good thing is that you have, agar if you have some work commitments or if you're going to college, and these days even if people are working somewhere, they have, it's a more of a work from home scenario. I think the scenario is more hybrid these days, wherein you don't have to go all 5 to 6 days in a week. In most of the cases, it is only 2 to 3 days. So I think 10 a.m. is that way is quite convenient for most of you. Obviously, agar miss ho raha to you always have the recordings to watch, right? Yeah, some other person has also raised the hand. Okay. So anyone who has a question can put it on either chat box or Q&A. Anything is fine with me. So 10 a.m. sharp every day. Monday to Friday would be the classes. So if you have seen the schedule, so this is what the schedule looks like. So Monday to Friday, sharp 10 o'clock, we'll start the sessions. And the sessions will go on for about, on an average, 2.5 hours. Okay, मान के चलिए average 2.5 hours. And then every Saturday, what we have is daily practice questions. That means um, based on the topics that are taught in the week, Monday to Friday, there'll be certain topics that will be taught. Okay, so based on those topics, there'll be some questions that will be discussed by one more mentor who is there, Rohan sir, will be taking those DPQ sessions every Saturday. Okay. Uh, so that is the plan. Like, so you have to be, so you will be engaged for 6 days a week. That ways, 5 days of sessions, 1 day of daily practice questions. Fine. So this is how the schedule would be like. Okay. Chaliye. So I think almost, yeah, it's 10. So we can get started. Now, first thing that I want to clarify is there anyone who does not understand Hindi at all? Because I know people have enrolled from it being online, right? The good thing about online courses is that we get to have more diverse people. In the last batch also, we have seen people from southern part, Tamil Nadu, or northeastern part of India. Is there anyone who does not understand Hindi at all? Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, Revant. Is it Revant? Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Okay, fine. See, I might just chip into Hindi once in a while, but even if I'm speaking something in Hindi, right, you don't get bothered because I might be only repeating whatever I've said, whatever I've discussed already in English. Some things I might just want to re-emphasize in which case I might switch to Hindi once in a while here and there, or just in a humor. Okay, so those people who think that, okay, sir has started to speak something in Hindi, don't be of the view, uh, don't be of the view that what has sir spoken about Hindi, is it something new that I'm missing? Okay, so whatever if at all I'm speaking once in a while in Hindi, okay, don't be too bothered if you don't understand Hindi also. There's nothing that you're going to lose. Okay, sometimes it happens, right? Just for the fact that I'm currently residing in northern part of India, Delhi to be more precise, I might once in a while switch to Hindi just to clarify certain things, or in a, yeah, okay. ठीक है, so you don't have to really worry even if I'm speaking in Hindi, that I would have already discussed in English. ठीक है, चलिए. Okay, so see, first of all, again, I would say in a way I would congratulate you people for choosing sociology as an optional. Okay, because this is a dilemma that most people, I'm pretty sure a lot of you would have had at least a dilemma, or would have had a dilemma between 2 to 3 optionals. Finally, दो से तीन optional में you might have considered finally 2 to 3, and out of which it was a difficult task for you, and finally you have decided to go with sociology. So is there anyone? Okay, Muhiz, so first question, ठीक है. Uh, I'll keep this question to the end of the session otherwise, huh? Or why I quit service. हाँ, ठीक है, ये सेशन के एंड में. एंड देयर इज आल्सो वन, इफ सम पीपल आर स्टिल क्यूरियस एज टू व्हाई आई एम इनटू टीचिंग एंड ऑल, there is one video. If you go to UPSCprep.com, there is one discussion between me and Abhijit sir. Okay, there at length I've discussed the background, my entire background, and then what are the things that have led me in a way to decide for something else than service. So if some people are very curious as to why I have kind of switched to teaching and left the service, वो वीडियो देखोगे तो थोड़ा आइडिया आ जाएगा. ओके, बिकॉज ओनली इन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट यू विल अंडरस्टैंड. मैं एक बार अगर इवन इफ आई से समथिंग इन 5 minutes, you might not find it convincing, or you might not find that to be something genuine. So if you go through that discussion that is there on the portal, you will understand as to, okay, मेरा journey पूरा अगर समझोगे, maybe you will be able to understand to some extent why I have quit the service and I am into teaching. Fine. Okay, वो एक है. हाँ, तो what I am trying to ask is, so who all have thought about 2 to 3, at least two option, and finally decided? Between which optionals were you stuck? कौन से 2 या 3 optionals है जहां पे you were stuck and you have finally taken this decision of going with socio? Okay, Aditi says, sir, I was. Okay. Good. Aditi, anthro versus sociology, fair enough. Yeah, it is in lectures are in English. Yeah, lectures are in English. That's what I'm saying. Once in a while, if I'm chipping into Hindi, you don't worry about those. Whatever I'm speaking in Hindi, that I would have already spoken in English. Okay. Don't think that sir has spoken something in Hindi which I'm missing. Okay. Just that if I'm in Hyderabad, right, once in a while I might speak in Telugu. If I'm in Chennai, because of the environment, I might just switch to Tamil once in a while. Okay, that doesn't, you don't have to worry about what I'm speaking. Yeah. Okay, psychology, sociology, some people maths also good. Acha, geography, anthro, sociology. Okay. Acha, Ankita says, after watching my video, I finally chosen sociology over agriculture. Cool. Okay, fine. Thank you. ठीक है. See, I will tell my journey so that you understand as to why I have taken sociology. Okay, and तो थोड़ा बहुत briefly मेरा journey समझिए, and you see in the context, and you will be able to, most of the people would be able to relate also. How many of you are having a background which is non-humanities? That means You have not studied anything to do with sociology or psychology or philosophy, non-humanities. Non-humanities. Okay, engineers, okay. Lot of commerce, good, fine. So engineering, commerce, pharmacy, very good. Pharma also interesting, cool. Mm. Agriculture, very good. Science and agriculture, cool, fine. Yeah, and so yeah, I think so. A lot of people are there with what you call humanities background, and especially those are the people who are quite uh, apprehensive whether I'll be able to pull off sociology or not, right? Same was there in my mind also because, see, typically I've done my schooling in Andhra, and 11th and 12th was MPC, Maths, Physics, and Chemistry. Okay. Then I've done my engineering from, it was called Triple IT, Indian Institute of Information Technology. Now it is part of the state that I've done from Calcutta. Okay. So engineering in IT that ways. Then I worked with an organization called Wipro Technologies as a software engineer for about 2 years in Bangalore. Okay. Then I've done my MBA from IIM Mumbai, which was earlier called NITI Mumbai. Now it is IIM Mumbai. So I've done my MBA from Bombay. Then after MBA, I worked as a consultant in India and UK for a while in the banking and finance sector. Okay. So if you look at my background, so after working in the UK, I came back to India. That is when I was in a dilemma whether I should be settling down somewhere in US and continue with whatever I'm doing as a consultant, or is there something which is still deep down in me that I should not regret later that I've not tried. So that is when finally I've decided that I can consider giving an attempt at civil services, because in a way it is something which is relatively more diverse than many of the other professions that are there. Okay, in terms of diversity, because um, personally, at least I don't know, अभी तक ऐसा ही लगता है कि I'm someone who needs to have something new to learn once in a while. I'm always curious, or I always become restless if there is nothing new to learn. Okay. So I thought that ways Indian Administrative Service or some of the other civil services are going to offer you a lot of diverse experiences. There's a lot of learning that ways. Okay. So I've taken finally call. Then there was a problem of what is the optional I should take. Okay. तो मेरे माइंड में भी ये था, I've done an MBA, so I could have naturally taken management, and quite a few people do take. ऐसा नहीं है, people I know some of my friends who had an MBA background, they have taken management as an optional. Anyone with MBA here, or क्या बोलते BBA or MBA? Nobody? Fair enough. हाँ, ओके, BBA, cool, fine. So हाँ, तो मैनेजमेंट भी लिया जा सकता था। ओके, ठीक है। तो आई हैड दिस थिंग इन माइंड, व्हाई नॉट व्हाट यू कॉल management. And I could not have taken anything to do with my graduation because IT is not a part of any optional. There's no electronics, there is no computer science engineering. Okay. But then what I've looked at is the kind of syllabus that is there in UPSC, because if you look at MBA or BBA, काफी diverse होता है. It's very diverse across many colleges. What is taught in a particular IM is different from what is taught in some other, let's say, B school. Okay, there is quite a lot of difference compared to any other subject. Okay, so the kind of overlap that is there between what is there in UPSC syllabus and what I actually studied, and I've even worked for a couple of years after MBA, मुझे लगा कि there is no much of overlap. Okay, it may not be a good call for me to take a MBA as an optional. So when I was trying to scout for various optionals, some things like psychology, then public administration, because public administrations, thoda bahut topics are related with management, and then I thought, okay, and it might be useful in the service also. Why not take public administration also? Then sociology and to some extent anthro also. Okay. Now अब तीन चार है तो कुछ चीजें मुझे एलिमिनेट करना था. Okay, eliminate in the sense I have not take anthro because there are a lot of things which are to do with slightly biology. See, it does not matter in the end, it does not matter much, but still there has to be some criteria for me to choose between anthro and sociology. And I've taken MPC, and even my school days, so for that matter, I was not so good with all those biology and to some extent drawing something which is to do with. So anthro mein thoda bahut, in some answers you have to draw some diagrams. I felt I might not be comfortable with those things. Okay, so that is one reason why I have chosen socio over anthro. So ye eliminate ho gaya. Okay, psychology, then psychology and sociology, again both humanities based. Both I found to be found quite interesting. Okay, but incidentally what happened is that psychology in a way was not doing so well, because that is also an important criteria. ऐसा नहीं कि only something which is interesting, that is definitely the most important criteria. Whichever optional you find initially to be quite interesting, that okay, this is something I can sit with for a long period of time, that is the most important criteria. Okay, so that was there with both psychology and sociology. But what happened, it was in 2011 that I started my first attempt. Okay, 2011, yeah. So then psychology scores for a couple of years weren't so good, as in the result was not so good for quite a lot of years. तो मुझे लगा अगर थोड़ा बहुत ट्रेंड को भी हमको देखना होता है, राइट? ट्रेंड इज आल्सो टू सम एक्सटेंट इम्पोर्टेंट. सो लुकिंग एट द ट्रेंड आई कुड एलिमिनेट साइकोलॉजी and then finally decide with sociology. And 2011 was the year जो two optionals were there. So I picked public administration and sociology in 2011. Okay, so that was my first attempt. 2011 was my first attempt. I started in the month of January. I was too late for 2011 attempt, but I was already 27-year-old, because remember I've done MBA, I worked for 4 to 5 years. मेरा age already 27 हो गया था. So I was not here to spend all my 6 attempts or more than that. ऐसा नहीं था more than. So I had in mind कि 3 attempts से ज्यादा नहीं दूंगा मैं. इनफैक्ट पहले सोचा 2 अटेम्प्ट से ज्यादा नहीं दूंगा मैं, बट क्योंकि 2 अटेम्प्ट में देयर वाज सम प्रोग्रेस दैट वाज विजिबल, आई हैव स्ट्रेच्ड टू 3 attempts also. Okay, so this was my plan ki I'm not here for a long term plan. So if things don't work, I look for plan B, was what I intended to. Okay, so because I was already, on the other hand, age was also running out, so there was no point for me to not give an attempt कि टाइम नहीं है. जैन में शुरू किया है, देन जून में देर इज अ प्रीलिम्स. ओके, जून इन जून देर वर प्रीलिम्स. 6 months of preparation, getting it right. Can I finish off both the options? Not possible. And can I prepare for prelims at the same time? Right, so what I had to do, I had to choose between optional in a way कि optional तो बाद में ही करना होगा. I have to do something after the prelims only. So public administration and sociology are the things that I've chosen, because they are not also so lengthy as mathematics or physics or some engineering subject, because you have to spend a lot of time. These optional are slightly different from humanities based because the syllabus is quite vast. But again, though you spend a lot of energy and time, the chances are also that you might score very high marks in these subjects also. Maths, यानी high effort, high risk, high gain वाला game है in optional में, in these optionals. On the other hand, optionals like sociology or anthropology or public administration, syllabus is not so huge, fairly limited syllabus, so you can at least ensure good to decent score. Okay, good to decent score. Or thoda bahut, if you're lucky in the fact that you're lucky with the fact that okay, there is quite a lot of overlap. Sometimes it might happen that an entire essay question is asked from a sociology topic, or an entire essay is asked from a psychology topic. So you might gain some 10-15 marks extra there. Sometimes there are a lot of questions somewhere or the other, ethics case study hua ya fir GS1. So across GS also you might gain some marks. So I felt fine. what is there? If I'm able to gain some extra marks here and there, that will suffice for whatever I could gain from any other subject. Okay. So this is what made me decide, despite the fact that I had no humanities background. No humanities background. Imagine an engineer and a consultant. See, problem with engineers and managers is that we look everything from a logical perspective. Everything has to fit into some kind of a mathematical formula, some kind of a क्या बोलते हैं there has to have be some kind of objectivity somewhere. Everything we calculate, we are very calculative people. अगर logic में fit नहीं करता, it doesn't make sense. Okay, but what is society like? In reality, society is something else, right? And that is where sociology has opened up my mind. Okay, sociology as such has opened up my mind. Whatever things that I used to think about, lot of things in the world, I used to take many things for granted, or I used to have very narrow or biased views about certain things, lot of things. Okay, I used to be restless. क्यों ऐसा ये है, क्यों ये इस चीज है? But the moment I started studying sociology, I realized that this is why so and so things are there. क्यों हमारे सोसाइटी में कुछ चीजें ऐसी हैं, right? Why are things around like this? Okay, why is there a institution of patriarchy? Why is it that men have more control and authority in a society like India, but it is not the case in let's say some of the Western countries? Okay, why is it that there is so much of corruption in politics? Okay, all of these things. So I started to understand all those things, and then it's not that I'm trying to have a justification for everything. It's not that you're trying to justify whatever wrong is happening, but you're more aware as to what are the root causes of some things that are playing around in the world, okay, around you, okay? So in my first attempt, with hardly much preparation, I could only give mains. See, I could clear prelims in the despite a very short period of time. So I've given mains in my first attempt. So I was not hoping that I would get an interview call there, because two optional after prelims is going to be difficult for me. Somehow, at least it has given me an experience to write mains. 2012, second attempt. Again, then also there were two optionals. I continued with PubAd and sociology, and then I went till interview stage in my second attempt. वहां पे भी इंटरव्यू के टाइम में दिस इज द वेरी बिग सेटबैक दैट आई गॉट. ओके, आई वाज होपफुल दैट एटलीस्ट इफ नॉट एएस आई विल फाइंड समवेयर माय नाम तो मिल जाएगा. ओके, some or the other service I might get. Okay, at least. Okay, so then I could not see my name in the list. Okay, then that is the big setback. That is when I started questioning second attempt के बाद कि यार मैंने भी वैसे सोच के आया था. I thought I will not give not more than 2 attempts. Okay, and then and I almost achieved that. But the moment I've gotten a setback, that is when I started questioning कि did I take a good call of quitting everything? Because otherwise, a consultant coming out from one of the best institutions, you are working for great organizations, earning good amount of money that way is okay. Leaving everything, you start questioning yourself कि यार I should have continued doing something else. Okay, so that was my low point in my one of my lowest points in life. That something, because I'm seeing my friends are getting promotion, someone is settling down in US, earning a lot of money. Okay, all those things, and I'm missing out on all of those things. Social media is full of those posts, right? I so much so that I also went out of social media because of all those things, all those pressures, right? Then, but finally I thought कि चलो यार, at least I have seen some kind of a improvement. ठीक है, पहली बार मेंस दिया है, second time at least I've gone to an interview stage, I have attempts, so why not stretch it for one more thing and call it some kind of, क्या बोलते हैं, serendipity. What is serendipity? Serendipity word you must have heard, no? Blessing in disguise. So उस time pattern changed 2013. So the current pattern that we see, no, only one optional, GS extended from 2 to 4, पूरा नया syllabus. Okay, so that is 2013 was the first year when the new pattern was introduced. So I had to now choose between public administration. Okay, okay, Ankita, someone has raised hand. Okay, yeah, Ankita, question. You have a question? Type in. You can type on the chat box. Some people might be raising hand by mistake also. That is also fine. It happens because it takes time for us to get used to this Zoom. कुछ लोग गलती से raise hand and okay, fair enough, not a problem. Okay, so this was a new pattern. Okay, and as I told you, intrinsically I am someone who likes learning new things. I've told you, right? Possibly that is there. तो पूरा थोड़ा बहुत नया syllabus है, something new to learn. Fair enough. Let me take this challenge, new challenge. Something new, ethics नया आया है topic. GS 1 2 3 4 में भी नया टॉपिक्स आए हैं, राइट? द क्वेश्चंस माइट बी समथिंग डिफरेंट. वो भी पता नहीं कि कैसे व्हाट काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस वुड बी आस्क्ड, बट वी वर काइंड ऑफ श्योर दैट देयर वुड नॉट बी. अर्लियर देयर यूज्ड टू बी वेरी लेंथी क्वेश्चंस आल्सो. 60 मार्कर क्वेश्चंस भी मेंस में पूछा जाता था. मेंस में देयर वाज अ लॉट ऑफ वेरिएशन. इफ यू हैव सीन द ओल्डर मेंस, नो, there used to be a half mark question, 1 mark question, and there used to be 20 30 mark questions also. Okay, so imagine the variation that is there in the main. So it was a different kind of a ball game altogether. So but we had expected that the pattern will be something else. You cannot expect all these kind of questions. So was the case, and it was only 25 questions, 10 markers. Now we have 10 marker 10 questions and 15 marker 10 questions. Okay, so new challenge. Then I've taken that challenge. But the biggest challenge was what? The biggest challenge was between pub ad and sociology. Now, it was not a challenge at all. It was quite natural for me because I told you, because I've come from a background which is quietly analytical, engineer, MBA. Okay, 2 साल में तो इतना कुछ मेरे को थोड़ा sensitization में I've unlearned a lot of things and relearned a lot of things thanks to sociology. My perspective towards this world, okay, and otherwise also I'm someone, I have, all of you might be having hobbies, right? Like some people like reading books, some people like playing something, okay, some people like playing guitar, some people like watching movies or something like this. So I've always been fond of movies, okay? So and thanks to sociology, the way I started looking at movies also has changed. Okay, and the kind of movies that I started watching also is kind of changed in the way, and I broadened my horizon. I started watching a lot of world cinema movies, which have lot of what you call social, क्या बोलते हैं, a message, or which reflect the society of that particular world that it is trying to portray, right? So in a way, personality started to change significantly. Sociology. So I have decided not to go with PubAd and decided to go with sociology. Okay, and now in a way, because when I keep talking with my old friends, no, जो मेरे engineering, जो MBA वाले friends हैं, when I keep talking to them now these days also, I can find out the different person I am. They also notice कि yeah, you seem to be a completely different person than what you used to be during these days. So I can only attribute to, maybe to some extent, or at least to a significant extent, this sociology. Maybe partly 5 years of service as all will also change a lot. Okay, fine. So those people who are still, now that you have taken a call, you have decided to go with sociology. Okay, I at least you should be proud of that fact that you have taken sociology, even if you don't have humanities background. And it is my job and your job, because it is going to be interactive session. Is this not, it's not going to be one way which you see in most of the offline thing. Offline में क्योंकि there are thousands of people और 500 लोग बैठे हुए हैं या फिर इतने लोग, तो there is only one way communication that happens in most of the session. That is something I don't like, even because I've been student of those days also, right? But I used to feel little awkward to ask questions because there are so many people sitting. But this is an environment wherein there is anonymity also. You're not showing a face also. You can easily ask any kind of question. So these sessions are going to be really interactive, which is good for me as well as you also. You learn a lot of things through interactive sessions. Okay, so that's what you're free to ask any number of questions. Okay, and we have fairly good amount of time. Good that you have taken a call to start preparation, because there'll be people who will be starting in October also. Okay, so this is the right time, I would say, in a way, fairly comfortable time. So even if you start in October, you can still manage to complete the optional in 3-4 months. But still, थोड़ा बहुत हमारे पास luxury है to spend a little more time also. If required, we can have extra sessions also if it is not fitting into the plan. Okay, but we ensure that the plan itself is good enough. We'll be able to complete within the stipulated time. अगर extend भी हो रहा है थोड़ा बहुत, you have that luxury, because okay, you have started early, right? And the other thing that you have to worry about, sir, interesting होना ही important नहीं है ना. It's just it should not be criteria that okay, I'm finding it quite interesting, something new I'm learning. Okay, it is at least making me to read these things, sit on this subject and read something. Does it fetch me marks? Okay, and fortunately sociology is one subject where you will not find some real surprises कि यार पूरा बहुत ही कम नंबर आ रहे हैं. It's like you will not find a year where you will not that there hardly anyone with sociology is able to score well. Okay, so sociology is one of those subjects. There are other subjects like that also. Okay, but sociology at least is one of those, I would say, safe zone subjects ki at least if you are above average or fairly good, at least you'll be able to manage some, let's say 270 280, good enough. No, chalo, agar with average, above average preparation also, with not spending too much of time like what you have to do for maths, you're able to manage some decent score, that is good enough. Okay, because see, the year I cleared sociology, was in a way, the scores of sociologies were not so great, as in one of the lowest in terms of, if you pick up the highest scores of all the optional that year, sociology had the lowest in that year, and geography. But still people managed to score above average scores like me. Okay, and made it to the list. Okay, अगर sociology optional अगर lowest point में नहीं, अच्छा zone में होता, तो I would have been getting even much better rank. Okay, but still anyways, जो हो गया वो हो गया. You cannot determine what the trend is going to be. But what I'm trying to say is that now at least what you're seeing is that sociology last year भी आपका देखो result, last few years you look at the result of sociology, fairly decent, fairly good. That's your last year's second rank. Okay, scores have also been around, topper has been getting around 300 plus also. तो manageable है, यानी 270 280 plus is doable if you put in some fairly good amount of effort. Okay, so that ways I would say abhi you don't have to think twice now that you have taken sociology. Abhi thoda, it's like marriage, no? बहुत anxiety होता है वो मेरा दो तीन रिश्ता है. There were 2-3 matches. I had to decide. Finally I've decided to go with this boy or this girl. Then once you decide, you have to stick with it. Okay, and feel not regretful about those things. So at least you're not able to hear. What about others? Is the audio clear? Okay, okay. Anonymous, just check your maybe there's something wrong with your mic or audio system. Okay, चलिए हाँ. तो अभी माइंड में कोई सेकंड थॉट्स नहीं होना चाहिए, क्योंकि यू हैव मेनी एग्जांपल्स. Okay, many examples. Even those people, even without any humanities background, have been able to score well in sociology. So you should not be having any apprehension. But yes, effort has to be put in, because see, there is something I've told you, no, because it has taken some time for me to unlearn a lot of things, because everything I was looking at logically, if something is not fitting into some kind of logic, I used to kind of not relate with those things. Okay, so there has to be some kind of unlearning, there has to be some kind of relearning. That is what we will do throughout this course. Okay, and you have to develop what is something called as sociological imagination, which today we are going to briefly discuss. Okay, and then we will just quickly look at क्या syllabus में क्या क्या items है. So just to give an idea about what sociology is going to be look like, what are the things that we're going to spend next 3 months time on, 3.5 or 4 months approximately time on. ठीक है, चलिए. So first of all, be proud of the fact or be happy with the fact that you have finally taken sociology. That you should not have any second thoughts whether I've taken the right optional or not. Fair enough. Even if you don't have humanities background, we will be able to manage. We will be managing to prepare well for this optional. And on the other hand, let me tell you, okay. See, I was among top. See, every year about 1500 plus people take sociology. कभी 1200 होते हैं, कभी 1800 तक भी गया, राइट, 1800. But on an average, about 1500 people out of about 12,000 plus people who write mains. I'm saying though out of those people who are writing mains, those people who are preparing, lot of people, right? It will run into lakhs. Okay, so that means it will be definitely among top 5, top three I would say every year, top 3 to 4 optionals in terms of the people, number of people who are taking up. So out of in the year I cleared 2014, 2013 batch. Okay, out of 1500, I was among top 20 in sociology. Right, one of the highest scores. Okay, in among top. Imagine, okay, 1500 में 20, any optional. See, imagine that itself is kind of deciding that you are almost there in the list. अगर आपने ensure कर लिया कि but I'm saying you don't have to be in top 20 to get your name in the list. Okay, so in those 1500 people, even if you are there in, let's say, among 150 people, still you will be able to manage your name in the list if you are able to score well in other things like your essay, your GS papers. And in my case, I was among top 40 in GS. GS 1, 2, 3, 4. If you take the total of GS in that year, that I can see from year to year, the scores will vary drastically. I know in 1 year, the highest itself was 400 in GS. In 1 year, the highest was 496. 100 का gap मिल सकता है. ऐसे ही optional में in my year, the highest was 228 or 213 sociology. Imagine topper got 238 in that year because it was the first year. Okay, so I was among top 10. So minus 20 marks here, I was able to score around 210. Okay, so 208 something. So I was in the top 20 there in sociology. So despite the sociology, I've told 220, 230 was the highest. This was the lowest among the options in that year. Okay, geography का भी topper का score था 230 optional का. Okay, so the scores vary. Okay, from there on, now people are scoring, let's say 300 plus also, as right, it varies. Sometime you will say that if the paper is difficult across the board, the highest will come from 300 to 280 also. Optional GS में भी 400 एक साल था, 200 2013 2014 में 400 was the highest in GS total. Okay, and 496 was the highest in 2021. I know Shruti Sharma, I happened to even be part of the mentoring because she was part of Jamia Millia and I was involved through some other institution earlier, and I was one of the mentors for her. Okay, then 496 highest था, लेकिन फिर पिछले साल देखोगे 450 हाईएस्ट है, अराउंड 450 समथिंग. ठीक है, तो वो वेरी होता है. डोंट वरी अबाउट दोस थिंग्स. ओके, what you have to look at is that how is your relative performance. See, so much so that I've told you top 40 in GS, top 20 in optional. How did I manage this? I will again give credit to sociology in a way. This has helped me to score well in GS. How? I was able to use lot of things because I've collected lot of examples, case studies, or newspaper. When I say case studies, whatever I was reading in the newspapers, I was able to correlate with whatever is there in sociology. So काफी सारा data हुआ, कोई examples हुआ, I have gathered for sociology which I used in my GS. Similarly, whatever I prepared for GS also, okay, I have used in sociology. This is what is you have to be very focused about, because now anyways we'll go through the syllabus. You will get a clarity ki how should I be correlating many things. Okay, what I learn in GS, how can I use in optional? What I learn in optional, how can I use in GS? This correlation, these interlinkages are very important. So much so that GS में top 40 में था. In fact, that year which I cleared, rank 1 का जो GS score was lesser than my GS score. Okay, how was I able to do that? I was able to do that because I was able to relate many things. I was able to borrow lot of things I learned as part of sociology and put into GS. Similarly, I was able to borrow lot of things that were part of the GS and put into sociology. Okay, someone with no sociology background, no humanities background, among top 20 in sociology, how was this done? Again, I've told you, some bit of unlearning, relearning. You have to develop that kind of a sociological imagination. That is what we are going to do in the next 4 months. Okay, this is our mutual thing that we have to do, because ताली दोनों हाथ से बजती है, right? So the fact that, because in the last batch also I was lucky to have all the people, those people who are very interactive, like you guys. Okay, people who have already given mains also were they part of my last batch. Okay, and they have made it quite interactive. So same is what I expect from you guys also. Don't be कोई भी question, keep posting. Don't shy away from asking questions. ठीक है? So this is my journey as to why I have taken. So I've answered. See, typically I usually discuss also why sociology. Okay. Now I have answered why sociology, why I have taken sociology, and why you should be now happy with the fact that you have also taken sociology, both from the point of trends and both from the point of view of interest. I think as of today, sociology is one of the better options that is out there. Okay, fine. Now, let us try to understand what sociology per se is. Okay, some of you would have done some bit of reading also before coming to these sessions. I've told you in the last batch, there were people who have written mains also who were coming to the session. So they had a fair amount of idea of what sociology, all of that is. Okay, but I will presume all of you are starting from zero. That is what I will presume. I'll start from scratch only. I'll not assume that you have read something already. Fine. So what according to you is sociology? Okay, you may want to just type in one line what you understand about what sociology is. Even those people who have not studied anything also make a guess also. Aditi says, sir, a study of society, how it functions. Okay. Rang says study of society, study about society, Abhishek. Okay. Gurshin says diverse society. Good. Ishwar also society. Yes, yes. Okay, okay. Very good. Okay, fair enough. Social interactions, web of social relations. Okay, Gagandeep. Cool. See, you will not be able to see chat box. Okay. I'm reading out. Okay. I'm reading out for others. There are a lot of people in the participant list. Okay. Already. Uh, uh, Bhuvanesh, Bhuvanesh. Huh? There are, what I'm reading is chat box. Chat box me, if you're typing, it is not visible to others. So that is why I'm reading out whatever things that I'm finding it important. Okay. जो आपको पता हो ना, I'm reading out. Fine. Okay. Revant Kumar has this question. Sir, you said about brainstorming is important in sociology. That's what we'll discuss those things. I'm average in brainstorming, how to resolve that. Don't worry, right? If you're average to start with, I was below average when it comes to brainstorming. Okay. So don't worry. Don't worry. Okay. You'll develop those things. You'll develop. Study why people institution. Very good. Good. Okay. Chaliye. So let's look at this picture to understand. Okay. Now, when we say study, so lot of you guys are saying, sir, it's a study of society, study of social relations. But society also is composed of many individuals. Okay, society is composed. What is a society? Yes. Society is composed of, so typically what is a society? Indian society, जो GS1 में आपने पढ़ा होगा, you must have read. I take sessions for GS1 society also, Indian society also. Because as I told you, I was one of the highest scorers in GS, especially in paper one. My score was probably the highest. Okay. Now, the first thing that I ask in Indian society is, what do you understand by society? Society hota kya? So typically, if you have to look at society is a group of individuals. There's a lot of people, group of people, okay, who are residing in some place, okay. It will be some geography, okay. And those people intend to perpetuate themselves. Perpetuate in the sense, perpetuate का मतलब है कि they want to have some long-term life. They want to have this community sustaining for a long period of time, not just themselves. They would also want this to be a safe place for their future generations, their early generations, okay. So all of them have an intention to have something. They have a long-term vision. They want to perpetuate their society, and this society is in a way kept intact, or it is getting perpetuated because of some kind of relation. So these individuals are having lot of interrelationships, okay, relations. ये जो relations, these relations है, this is being taken care by some institutions. We call them social institutions. What are those social institutions? When I say social institutions, it could be something like a family. One of the smallest social institution could be family. Okay, the family can be a small family, husband, wife, one child, or only husband and wife. Okay, or it can be an extended family. It can be a large joint family. That is one institution. What else can be institution? You might be part of a larger community. Let's say largest religious group, religious sect. We will discuss in more detail as what is religion, what is sect, all those things. It is part of the syllabus. You might be part of a larger caste group, okay, because the place where you're residing, most of the people are from the same caste. You also identify yourself to be belonging to a certain caste, okay. There are educational institutes. They are also social institutions in a way. Schools are there, college is there. This is also in a way kind of an institution, right? UPSCprep for us, for all of us together. These are the institutions which are enabling. You could be part of a church, right? So all of these are enabling the relationship. This is what is a society, okay? So whether it is Indian society or society anywhere, this is a society. So society is obviously composed of individuals, okay? So are we looking at individual per se, or are we looking at a broader picture, is what you have to understand, okay? So that is where sociology comes in, okay? क्या सोशियोलॉजी का मतलब ये नहीं हो सकता कि मैं इंडिविजुअल पे भी फोकस कर सकता हूँ? कैन आई नॉट फोकस ऑन इंडिविजुअल ऑल्सो? यस, ओके. Or should I be worrying about, not worrying too much about individuals? I should be worrying about broader things, maybe certain kind of patterns, certain kind of common things that are there among many people. That should be my area of focus as a sociologist. Fine, right? So this is what we have to understand. So in a way, if you look at this picture also, look at this picture, try to look at this picture, okay? Now here, are we looking at an individual per se, or is there something that we are also looking at from the point of society? इस पिक्चर को देखिए. I hope you're able to see the deck, right? And for those people, okay, see whatever PPTs I'll be discussing in the session, right? In the sessions, that will be uploaded. Okay, that will be uploaded before the session itself, because some people, because in the last batch people have requested sir session से पहले कर दीजिए, क्योंकि some people also try to make some notes on these PPTs itself. I know there's a smart lot these days. Some people use tab. टैब में डाउनलोड करके उसमें जो पीपीटी में अपना नोट्स बना देते हैं. दे ऐड separate note section and they try to write something. Fair enough. All those people who are comfortable with the digital medium, I don't stop them from taking advantage of that also. So that is why. So for example, now this PPTs are already uploaded in the portal. Some of you must have already noticed it. Yes, are you able to download? I hope you're able to download the PPT, right? Some of you might have done. Anyways, okay, you can do it later on also. Fine, ठीक है. तो हाँ, तो यहाँ पे what is it that you are noticing? Tell me. यहाँ पे am I looking at an individual? Is it only an individual that is an area of interest for me, or is it also something to do with the society that this individual is part of? There's a girl who is sitting, and a lot of things that you can see. ये कुछ दिख रहा है, ये कुछ दिख रहा है. Something maybe outside also, or outside some people are walking along, and they are also trying to make a. Yes, both. Yes. Okay. So if you look at this picture, yes. Now, if you are a good, so if you are a sociology student, right, at least by the time you're midway or in the course, you can consider yourself to be a sociologist, okay, not just someone who is preparing for sociology as an option in UPSC. So if you start imagining like a sociologist, let's suppose ये बाहर जो है ना, ये जो you are seeing this window, ये खिड़की दिख रही है बाहर, okay, some sociologist walking along a road, and that sociologist is hearing something from this room, okay. What that sociologist is trying to hear is something that is coming out of this TV. Maybe this girl is watching something on Netflix. Netflix में कुछ देख रही है, and that sociologist is able to listen to something, and that person is able to say maybe she's or maybe prime, okay. The sociologist hears some few dialogues, and he says that यार मुझे लगता है ये पंचायत सीजन देख रही है. Huh? Amazon Prime, she's watching Panchayat, or maybe she's watching some movie, okay, or she's watching some movie, Pushpa one on some. I don't. Pushpa is on, I think, Amazon Prime only. Okay, she's watching that. Okay, I can hear the dialogues of that movie. Okay, now what will that person make out by hearing certain things? Okay, if that person, if Panchayat, right? Agar if someone is fond of watching Panchayat, what see, you cannot generalize, but what can you imagine about that person, let's say, or maybe Pushpa, let's say. Very good, very good. Aditya says possibly that person like has some rural connection. Excellent, very good. Huh? Because you tend to like certain things which you can also connect with, right? Yes. Anything else? Huh. So you are saying between urban and rural, okay? Both, let's say, even for that matter, Pushpa, possibly that person has some links with rural. Maybe the person would be living in rural areas, and now he or she is she's settled in urban area. Fine, okay. Something about maybe class also of that individual. Yes. Can it can you not make some say, you're not supposed to generalize, okay, but at least as a sociologist you're trying to draw some things. Yes, maybe that person is also from some kind of a middle class background. That is why that person is finding. Yes. Okay. Yes, some struggles maybe. Yes. Language, very good, very good. If Panchayat, then possibly from some part of UP or some part of Bihar. If it is Pushpa, maybe depending on the language, if the person is watching in Tamil or Telugu, right? Yes, identity. So this picture is reflecting lot of things beyond an individual, okay. Identity of an individual. Is the person part of a certain class? Is the person of certain background, right? Linguistic background, ethnic background, cultural background, social status kya hai in terms of wealth, all those things. Okay, not just those things. If you look at these pictures also, can these pictures also reflect something about the society that girl is part of? Very good. Traveling. Abhishek says yes. She might be fond of traveling. And also the kind of pictures that can be seen, depending on the kind of pictures, you can possibly say if most of the pictures are from, let's say, Europe and US, then what can you say about that? And the fact that she often travels also to such destinations which are otherwise expensive, right? If the pictures are mostly from India or some other parts of South Asia, which are even cheaper than traveling to some parts of India, right? Yes. Okay, you can talk about. Yes. So Aditya is saying possibly she is a independent woman. Good. Even a feminist to an extent, maybe. Yes. Good. So this is what, as a sociologist, you're trying to observe about. Okay, you're looking beyond what an individual is. Okay, what you're looking for is, so likewise, as a sociologist, you keep on looking these things of many individuals. So what you're going to do, you're going to collect this information of many individuals. So you're walking along, let's say you're going to do some kind of a survey. You knock the doors and you'll do a survey and look at the place that the people are living in, and you try to come up with some kind of a pattern, some kind of commonalities, okay? Some kind of larger aspects. What is some kind of things which are beyond obvious, right? Beyond apparent. Okay, this is typically what is called sociology. So if I have to simply define what sociology is, okay, or understand what sociology is a scientific and a systematic. So now you're trying to do some kind of a systematic study. Okay, let me look at many such individuals. What are their hobbies? What are their interests? What are the things that they watch on Netflix or Amazon Prime? And let me now make a kind of a assessment about what the society or the social background of such individuals is, right? So it is more of a scientific and a systematic study of society and the human behavior. Okay, you are getting to understand the behavior of the individuals. Now you are not just one individual, you are going to extend this exercise for many individuals. So you are going to find something commonality. So in a way, sociology is looking at too broad, is two activities, I would say, two kinds of activities. Okay, one is you're trying to find out if there is something common or general in particular. Okay, you're looking at a particular individual, you are looking at a particular incident, you are looking at a particular relationship, social relationship, and you are now trying to draw something general about that. You're trying to expand it, you're trying to look at some kind of a common patterns. Okay, so to make this thing even more easier for you to understand, let us take one more example. Okay, suppose you meet a person. Okay, you have friend, एक कोई friend है आपका, right? You have one friend, uh, and that friend, you meet that friend in a cafe. ठीक है? That friend, he's already married. Okay, he's already married, and now you may not be married, but you're sitting in a cafe, and that the friend is now discussing about his marriage. And then the friend is saying, yeah, I've just gotten married. It's been 1 year, but I'm finding it difficult to survive this marriage. Lot of on a regular basis, we keep quarreling, right? काफी चीजों में झगड़ते हैं, right? There are not many things that are common. I think there's some problem with compatibility on many aspects. Okay, that since he is a boy, he will possibly say some things about the girl's personality, character, also all of those things. Okay, now as a person, if you're listening to all of those things, what is the inference that you're trying to draw about marriage per se? बोलिए. One of your friend has come to meet you in the cafe. Okay, you're trying to understand based on his narrative. Okay. Ishwar says can lead to Kaushal says, yeah, you might make a inference that yes, marriage ऐसा ही है शायद. हाँ, तो एक फ्रेंड ऐसा है, कल को ना, let's say after a month you also find that some other friend is sending a message on WhatsApp, yeah, I want to talk to you, I'm finding it quite difficult, I'm going through some kind of a depression. Okay, due to and the moment he talks to you, you realize, yeah, iska bhi wahi haal hai, this person. Okay, it's not just one person, this is one more friend of mine who is facing a problem. So if two incidents, okay, two incidents you have faced about marriage, After two incidents, what is your attitude about marriage? Based on two incidents on marriage, what are the inferences that, so as an, on the institution of social institute of marriage, what are the inferences you're trying to draw? Again, something is a marriage. Then you try to make a kind of an inference key. I think marriage is in this age, right? Marriage has hardly any utility for people like us. Maybe marriage is something which is outdated. Okay, or because they happen to be male friends of yours, you might be drawing an inference कि सारी लड़कियां आजकल ऐसी ही है. All women nowadays are like this only. Okay. Difficult. Okay, their characters are like that. Okay, so you're trying to draw some kind of inferences about marriage. You're trying to draw some inferences about girls also, and it might happen that both of them are married to a girl from a particular place. So maybe you will make an inference. Okay, all the girls from so and so state, all the girls. Let's say it might happen that what if both the girls are from Delhi? Then you'll say, यार सारी दिल्ली की लड़कियां शायद ऐसी ही होती हैं, right? So you're trying to draw some kind of a inference based on two things only. Okay. Now, is that a sociological perspective? If you were to be a sociologist, you are just an individual. Okay. If you are to be a sociologist, will you draw an inference based on only two things? Yes, that is what I'm trying to explain here, that what is sociology? It is a systematic and a scientific study. It's not based on anecdotal evidence. What is anecdotal evidence? एक आध देख लिया आपने सर, क्या बोलते हैं, environment में. In my environment, I've seen couple of cases, and these are anecdotal evidences. Okay, so you're trying to draw patterns. Okay, so what ideally you should be doing if you are a sociologist is that 2 is not a good number. Let me also discuss. Let me talk to other friends also and try to understand about marriage. You randomly call some other person and talk about how is your marriage going. That person might be saying it is going very well. I'm very proud of my wife who is also from Delhi. तो यहाँ पे दिख रहा है कि यार वो लड़की दिल्ली से है, and he is so proud of that girl who is married, who he is married to. Okay, so you will get some variations, and then based on that you're trying to draw some parallels. So your area of interest is not some kind of typical individual experiences. Individual experiences are important. I wouldn't say you are not worrying about individual experiences. Your area of focus is what is the pattern, what is the commonalities, what is the general thing that I can observe from many such things, many such married relationships. Okay, so this is one aspect of that, is seeing something general in particular and seeing some things also strange in familiar. Okay. What do you mean by looking at something strange in familiar? Many things that you look at, right? You take those things for granted. Let us take an example. It happens in many homes, right? Women of family, especially let's say mother or grandmothers, in most of the family, you might have noticed, are the ones who eat the food, eat the meal after all the men have eaten? क्या आपने नोटिस किया कि जब सारे लड़के खा लेते हैं, men have eaten their meal, women come and sit and eat, right? तो कहीं और भी जाते तो you go to some other place, you go to some relatives place. Okay, there also people are saying चलो पहले आप खा लीजिए, बाद में लड़के खा लेती है, right? It's not just South India. What about so Sai Kumar is saying, sir, it is the case in South India. Okay, what about other parts? Is it the case in North India also? Anyone from North India or other parts? Some people from East India, West India? Okay. Bihar also, sir. Okay, Aditya says. So it is so that's what, okay, don't, so that is what sociology opens our mind, okay. So, so have you observed this thing? तो हमने this is a very obvious thing. We have never questioned this thing, और हमने सोचा नहीं कि ये क्या है, ये इसके पीछे क्या रीजन है. We have taken these things for granted. Okay, we have taken these things for granted कि ऐसा ही है, सोसाइटी में ऐसा ही है. Okay, but if you now, as a sociologist, what you are trying to understand is that why is it that case, ये सिर्फ मेरे घर में है कि नहीं, is it the case in my house? Then you start asking your friends, okay, क्या यार तुम्हारे घर में भी, is it the case in your home also that women eat after men do? Okay, then like one of our friend is saying, sir, it is in South India. So you will ask a person from some other region also. Okay, now you start looking at some research articles on this behavior, this social behavior. Okay, that means now you're starting to look beyond obvious and trying to understand what are the reasons behind it, right? Okay, so there is some institution called, okay, it is possibly due to an institution called patriarchy. So it is a reality that the status of women is not equal to that of, okay, or is it that the women are being taught something ki, as a woman, an ideal woman should be caring, she should be caring for others before she cares for herself. क्या ऐसा कुछ सिखाया जाता है? This is which is also part of your the institution of patriarchy, right? So you are trying to look beyond what is obvious. Okay, so these two things, looking for something which is general, okay, and looking for something which is beyond obvious, beyond what you have taken for granted, it is a very common thing. It's in everyday हमको दिखता है, right? It is what I see on a daily basis. If you're digging a little deeper and trying to understand what is beyond obvious, this is what we call basically is a sociologist. Okay, this is what is sociologist. And as a sociologist, this is what you have to develop as a skill. Okay, so this kind of a skill, that looking for certain patterns or trying to understand something beyond obvious, okay, looking at a particular problem beyond what is an individual problem. It is not just a problem of one person. You're looking beyond that, okay? That particular thing is called also sociological imagination, right? That means to be a sociologist, sociology would require a sociologist or an individual to have what is called as sociological imagination. In a way, this is what I can also call as one form of brainstorming. So one of our friend has this, हाँ सर कहीं पे मैंने देखा था आपके वीडियो में कि आपने, yes, right, I've seen a video, yes. Okay, this is what is called sociological imagination, and this term was popularized. This term of sociological imagination was popularized by a person called C. Wright Mills. Okay, he is an American sociologist. We will bring this name as we go along also. इसके नाम और भी आते रहेंगे as we discuss some of the topics also. He's an American sociologist. Okay, in 1950s, okay, late 50s, he has even written a book with this title, Sociological Imagination. Okay, and in that he mentions about a lot of examples as to what sociological imagination is, right? So he's talking about because 1950s की बात कर रहा है. He's talking about 1950s, and then so it is a post Second World War. So he's trying to discuss about many things that are happening post World War. Okay, many developments that are happening. So he's trying to apply sociological imagination and trying to understand that how is it that many people have turned to become a soldier. Okay, a writer has also become a soldier, an engineer has also become a soldier in Second World War. Okay, what are the things that have moved, or right? So he's trying to talk about war per se in their context, but I'm trying to simplify that and apply the same sociological imagination. And we'll take one more example for us to understand, or two more examples for us to understand what sociological imagination is. And I will give you a homework as to how you can apply this sociological imagination to any other issue also, or any other problem also. Okay, so with two examples, we'll try to understand what sociological imagination is. So in brief, we have discussed what sociology is, okay? And to to become a sociologist, you have to develop what is called sociological imagination is. And what is this sociological imagination per se? We are trying to look at it from looking at two examples, okay? First example is coffee, okay? Or tea also. हाँ, ओके, दिव्या सिंह सर, गुजरात राजस्थान में भी है। हाँ, एज अ मार्क ऑफ रेस्पेक्ट ऑल्सो, वेरी गुड, ठीक है, हाँ, चलिए। Happens in serials also is what Sumit is saying. Good, good. ठीक है. Now, let's take one example. A lot of you would be drinking coffee or for that matter tea also, जो भी हो. So, how many tea drinkers, how many coffee drinkers? दोनों दोनों पिला के भी कुछ लोग पीते हो, दोनों मिला के भी कुछ लोग पीते होंगे. I don't know. I have not tried. Has any of you tried mixing both coffee and tea? I have not. Okay, Abhishek says tea. Very good, Acha. Just milk, tea. Aditya, coffee. Individual both. See, personally, right, I'm mostly a tea person, or I had been a tea person for a long time, okay? Even during my earlier preparation, or because UPSC preparation ke time mein also, you tend to either you ask your mom or you prepare your own tea. Okay, nowadays since I stay alone, I prepare my own tea or I go to cafes. कैफे में जाके भी मैं कभी टी ज्यादा ऑफर करता हूँ, या फिर बिकॉज आई एम trying to cut down on caffeine these days, so I'm not drinking coffee, but there was a time where I was into coffee also a lot, okay? When was the time specially? I I have served in Tamil Nadu because so I don't know if anyone is there from Tamil Nadu or otherwise been in Tamil Nadu or southern part of India. Anyone from, yeah, yes, some people are from southern part of India, especially Tamil Nadu. Uh, Coffee is very common. Okay, lot of people drink coffee. हाँ, तो मेरे I also kind of switched from tea to coffee when I was in service. Especially I was working as sub collector SDM in Kanchipuram, ठीक है, कांचीपुरम डिस्ट्रिक्ट. तो मेरे जो सब डिवीजन में, कांचीपुरम इज जस्ट एडजेसेंट टू चेन्नई, ओके? तो वहाँ पे देर यूज्ड टू बी लॉट ऑफ, देर यूज्ड टू बी हाईवे, बिकॉज ऑन along the highway only, along the highway only there used to be, highway के सटक के ही मेरा office and my home used to be there, so much so that it used to be difficult if I'm sleeping in one room which is closer to the highway, so I used to sleep in the room which is farther from the highway, क्योंकि काफी सारी in the night lot of heavy vehicles travel by that road, okay? तो थोड़ा काफी noise. So since it is an highway, there used to be lot of coffee stalls, coffee come tiffin centers, ठीक है? And especially there is something called Kumbakonam coffee. Anyone has heard of or tried this coffee? हाँ, अरेबिका, हाँ, southern, Baba Budan, yes, very good. Kumbakonam degree coffee, very good, yes, Kumbakonam degree coffee. You have a meter coffee, they say meter coffee also. Interesting names. I do, okay. हाँ, तो आई, तो क्या हुआ कि ऑब्वियसली लेके आते हैं, सर पी लीजिए ये, या फिर आई ट्राइड इट, ओके? अरुकु कॉफी आल्सो वेरी गुड, अरुकु कॉफी आल्सो दीस डेज. अरुकु इज अ प्लेस फ्रॉम a place near विशाखापट्टनम, ओके, इन आंध्र प्रदेश. तो जैसे ही मैं वो कॉफी ट्राई किया, राइट, व्हेन आई ट्राइड दिस कॉफी, आई हैव गॉटन ऑलमोस्ट एडिक्टेड टू इट. Priyanka says, okay, yeah, yeah. Priyanka says, I hate tea and coffee. Do we have to know about these things? Okay. So we are not yeah, see, what we are trying to apply this thing, this sociological imagination to the act of coffee. Okay. Now, if you look at, so I gotten addicted to coffee per se. That is how coffee became part of the ritual. Now, if you have to apply this example, see this example I'm picking from a book of sociology written by Anthony Giddens. Okay, ऐसा नहीं कि मैं खुद से कुछ हवा में बना रहा हूँ. Okay, this coffee example I'm picking it from the book of sociology because you don't have to read all those books. See, I have read out of my own curiosity, interest. Okay, आपको ये सारे books पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है because Anthony Giddens is again one of the we'll bring in Anthony Giddens also as we discuss, right? So he explains this coffee ka example and he explained what sociological imagination is, referring to C. Wright Mills. So I have borrowed this example from that book in a way. Okay, okay. So I have to give credit to Anthony Giddens that way. Now, what this person Anthony Giddens is trying to say is that if you look at coffee and if you have to apply sociological imagination, okay, how are you going to do? So coffee could be a form of a ritual for some people. How is it a ritual? Some people, the first thing that they do after they wake up is they drink coffee and then they start their day. They plan for the day, okay? Or some people might be going to gym. Is there anyone who goes to workout? Huh? So quite a lot of people who go for workout, right? They also have an espresso shot or coffee shot. Black coffee का एक shot लेते हैं, right? So it is, coffee is not just an act of drinking something. It is a part and parcel of your social behavior, okay? Your action. बिना कॉफी के मैं जिम नहीं कर सकता. And gym is an activity, it's become a social activity for me, okay? I go to gym, I interact with people, I have a trainer who is training for me, right? I have a plan that is set out, I meet a lot of people there also, I keep discussing, okay? Otherwise also, coffee, the moment you go to a cafe, very good, yes, look at cafe. And I've told you, I've done my graduation from Calcutta. So there is something called like Indian Coffee House. Has anyone gone to Indian Coffee House? It is there in many places, but one of the most famous ones is in Calcutta. There is one in Delhi also. There's one in Bangalore also, right? So Indian Coffee House, right opposite to your Presidency College, in a place called College Street. College Street is the place where you find all the books. It's considered to be the largest second-hand market in Asia. Second-hand books market. Even we used to buy a lot of books from that place. Okay, so books, colleges, and a coffee house. So what do you think is the act of drinking coffee means here? You go to such a place. The act of drinking coffee is associated with what is called the adda culture or discussions, social discussions. So you randomly bump into, you sit into any table, you'll observe that the people are discussing about politics. People are discussing, abhi elections hua, imagine you being you try to overhear what people are trying to discuss over. So for those people, coffee is what? For those people, coffee is a gathering to understand about what are the social issues. What is the politics in India? You getting, right? Fine. Now, if you look at, again, some coffee, as I told you, coffee almost became an addiction for me. If coffee is an addiction, it can become an addiction, then why is coffee not banned? Something which is addictive. What are the other things which are addictive, which are banned? Yes. In fact, today only in newspaper. Yesterday news में था, today, in one country which has revoked the ban on marijuana. Very good, Sumit. Yes, yes. I hope all of you are reading. ये paper में भी कहीं ना कहीं आएगा ये, okay, okay. But not that you have to understand what, but yes, newspaper again. You will understand as we go along. You will understand how important newspaper reading is. Okay. So then, why is it that some drugs are banned? Why not coffee? Okay. And if some drugs are banned, what is the state, or why is that some countries are banning and some countries are not banning? Why is it that Colombia or Brazil are revoking. Even Elon Musk mentions that he goes to California only to smoke up marijuana because that is legal in California state. It is not legal in many other states. Okay, ऐसा क्यों है? So you're so the coffee, looking at coffee, you're trying to look at the aspect of addiction, the aspect of addiction. Now coffee में भी देखोगे, if you look at coffee beans, again all of these are mentioned in Anthony Giddens का sociology का book. Okay, यहाँ पे coffee beans are sourced from, let's say, which places mostly? You look at a place like Starbucks. Okay, मान लीजिए a place like Starbucks. We have discussed Indian coffee house, but look at a place like Starbucks. Most of the beans are sourced from which place? Any idea? Geography. यार ज्योग्राफी आपने ज्योग्राफी में पढ़ा होगा, कोको, कोफो, कॉफी. I hope you're reading geography, natural resources. Which are the places where most of the race? Latin America, very good. Brazil, okay. Southern America, some in India also. Okay, Africa also, quite a bit in Africa also. Yes. So, but have you noticed something in these? If you look at especially South America and Africa, the plantations, coffee plantations. Okay, ये जो कॉफी प्लांटेशंस हैं, वहां पे कैसा एनवायरनमेंट है? इज देयर अ बॉन्डेड लेबर? व्हाट अबाउट द ह्यूमन राइट्स ऑफ दोज पीपल? इमेजिन अबाउट द एंटायर सप्लाई चेन. पूरा सप्लाई चेन में द प्लेस फ्रॉम इट इज बीइंग सोर्स्ड, where it is being processed, how it is being transported, how it is being sold to the retailers. Okay, if you look at the entire supply chain, is it a fair trade? Okay, there's something called fair trade. There are some people who look for certain mark on the packet of any goods. एक fair trade का mark होता है, जैसे wool mark होता है, ISI mark होता है. There's something called fair trade. Okay, and there are certain people who are very particular about that. यानी अगर fair trade का mark है, उसका मतलब है कि पूरे सप्लाई चेन में कहीं पे कोई चाइल्ड लेबर या कोई बॉन्डेड लेबर, देयर इज नो एक्सप्लॉइटेशन ऑफ पीपल. ओके, तो इज देयर सम काइंड ऑफ एन एक्सप्लॉइटेशन in the entire supply chain of coffee? You extend it to tea also. Okay, or two people, what is otherwise coffee also used, right? Again, there was one Hindu. You are not supposed to read these kind of articles anyways, but I just found interesting. कल ही एक पेपर में पढ़ रहा था. Okay, a dating app scam. One dating app scam I was reading in the newspaper. Okay, apparently there's a gang in Delhi which is operating कि dating app में जैसे ही कोई मैच होता है, तो that girl asks for a person. हाँ, पढ़ा होगा किसी ने. Has anyone? Yes, yes. That girl asks for that person to come to a cafe. Okay, the name also is interesting. Black Mirror Cafe. हाँ, तो वहां पे क्या करती है? शी आफ्टर अ वाइल शी सेज दैट मेरे को कोई इमरजेंसी है, आई हैव टू लीव. एंड देन सडनली दैट द गाय इज गिवन अ बिल ऑफ मोर देन 1 लाख रुपीज. भाई ये क्या बिल है? ओके, तो फिर apparently ये पूरा बिल जो है ना, it is being shared between manager, the person who is acting, and the girl. 15% goes to the girl. Look at the innovative scams that are going place. Okay, तो ये पूरा जो बिल है, उसका पैसा कुछ वो लड़की को जाता है, कुछ मैनेजर को जाता है, कुछ, राइट? इट्स एन एंटायर गैंग दैट इज ऑपरेटिंग. बट अदरवाइज ऑल्सो coffee, the moment you find a match in a dating, okay, you ask for some person to come for a date, most of the times it is going to be a coffee, right? Coffee. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to say. Okay, this is what I'm trying to say is that a simple act, एक कॉफी ड्रिंकिंग वाला एक्ट जो है, इट इज सो ऑब्वियस. इट्स सो ऑब्वियस फॉर यू. ओके, इट्स सो कॉमन. क्या बोलते, एवरीडे वर्क है. इसमें क्या है? इस कॉफी वाले में क्या एक्ट है? बट इफ यू आर अप्लाइंग सोशियोलॉजिकल इमेजिनेशंस, यू आर लुकिंग एट रिलेशनशिप्स, you're looking at whether there is a child labor or a bonded labor somewhere in the plantations. You're looking at some kind of social gatherings which are discussing about political issues, social issues. Okay, this is what I'm trying to say is your sociological imagination. And this is a specific example Simple example, because I've used this as a simple example because you'll be able to relate it compared to other examples. Okay, otherwise in his book he has mentioned other examples also, क्योंकि यहाँ पे कुछ लोग whether coffee or tea you drink, I thought this is a good example, and this is exactly, and this is also an example that was discussed in the book Sociology by Anthony Giddens. Okay, chaliye. Now, one more quick example we'll try to discuss. Okay, because this question, sociological imagination, was already asked once. A question, 10-mark question was asked previously in UPSC also. Okay. Take this case. Now, the moment you have decided to prepare for UPSC, okay, the moment you have decided to prepare for UPSC, you might have been asked by lot of people, or you might have been given lot of suggestions. कई सारे लोगों ने कई सजेशन दिया होगा. पहला क्या सजेशन होगा? अरे यार हो जाएगा. You just have to work hard, you will be able to clear. Some people would have given this suggestion. Obviously, you just have to work hard. दिन में 10-12 घंटा पढ़ लो, हो जाएगा. You just read for 10-12 hours. You be consistent, you will be able to clear. This is one suggestion that you get. What is the second kind of suggestion? You take a particular optional. Yeah, I know a friend who has cleared. मेरा एक friend है, he has become an IAS. He has taken so and so a optional. आप भी वही optional ले लो. या फिर I know a friend who has studied in so and so institute, he has cleared, so you also join this institute. Okay, ये suggestion भी मिला होगा. Yes, होंगे around, there'll be people around you who will be advising that. There'll be some people, especially, for example, you have taken an optional, right, and then you cleared prelims, you have cleared even mains also. It is an interview stage now. Interview stage, before the interview you have to fill in what is called detailed application form. What is that detailed application? There is a preference of services. Okay, you have to rank services, rank 1 IAS, rank 2 IPS, rank 3 foreign service. ऐसा करके you have to give whatever is your choice. Some people might be having IFS as first preference. Okay, so any one of you with IPS as a first choice that you have thought about? Yeah, I'm here to get into IPS. Okay, quite a few. Yes, Karthik, Aditya, they want to put PS over any other service. Okay. Any girl who wants Shreya, rare. Okay, good. Okay. Shreya also wants to put in number 1 as IPS. But what is that you see commonly? Okay. Of the 10 people that you see who are choosing IPS as number 1, how many of them would you notice would be girls, women? हाँ, ठीक है. AS चूज कर रहे हैं equally, whether it is a girl. Most of the cases, if someone is choosing IAS as number 1, okay, Rang says, sir, 1:3. Yes, at least I would say 1:3 or even more adverse ratio. Karthik says, okay, 1:2. Okay, yeah. So right. So that is what, that is a reality that we have to live. So much so that even if the order is, let's say, IAS, I've seen quite a lot of people, lot of women, because see, I'm also part of this mains ka mentorship. Okay, I for years, for many years, I've been mentoring people who are writing mains. I'm also every year part of the interview panel. Okay, and all those discussions that happen around DAF, how to fill. कई लोग गलत ये भी चॉइस भी फिल कर देते हैं कि ये पर्टिकुलर जोन में कौन सा स्टेट प्रिफर करना है. दैट ऑल ऑफ दोज आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके, बिकॉज ओनली वंस यू गेट इनटू सर्विस यू नो better in terms what is the right better state to serve relatively. See, any place is good for you, but still, if you are given a choice to choose between A and B thing, okay, what should you be choosing? All those things. Okay, and I am part of many of the mock interview panels also. Some of the videos you must have seen that are there in YouTube across many institutes in the past also. Currently, last year UPSCprep के भी कुछ आपने shorts देखे होंगे. I am there as a panel member. Okay,
So I notice, this is not very uncommon, or within my batch also, a lot of women have chosen IRS over IPS. Sense banta, see, IAS, I'm not saying IAS, okay? So between IRS and IPS, a lot of people choose IRS, have chosen. For that matter, even I have chosen IRS over IPS. Okay, so that is not so common among men. Okay, but women also, a lot of women choosing IRS over IPS. Okay, तो क्योंकि ऐसा कोई एडवाइस देने वाला हुआ होगा अपने फैमिली में, घर में किसी ने बोला होगा कि यार तुम लड़की हो, IRS लो, IPS तुम्हारे लिए नहीं बना हुआ है, right? Similarly, there would be some people who would be saying, why are you getting into this? You never know. So it's so unpredictable. UPSC is so unpredictable. Look at the competition. Lakhs of people writing, only few posts are there. Maybe if you're looking at only few services, chances are very low. You might end up spending so many years. क्यों इतना time spend कर रहे हो? Okay, instead आप क्या करो? You do an MBA instead, or you join some family business of your uncle. कोई uncle है आपके, चाचा हैं, या खुद का अपना कोई family business. You have some family business. Join that. Why spend so many years? You end up spending so many years for this preparation. Okay, so is it not the case? Do you or have you not observed these kind of suggestions being given? Yes, yes or no? Okay, now when you look at these suggestions, if you look at number one, this is what maybe have to do something to do with your individual effort. Okay, working hard is your individual effort. But बाकी सारा suggestions देखोगे तो it is something to do with not you. Taking an optional, choosing a coaching, यहाँ पे who is involved? An entire coaching industry is involved. Entire mentorship sector is involved. Lot of mentors are involved. Your own UPSC is involved, because it is saying, because of which you are going to know what is the trend or what is the performance of a particular optional. Okay, so it is beyond you. Who is involved? UPSC is involved, a particular coaching is involved, an entire sector is involved on this decision. Okay, whether there is good availability of classes, mentors, material or not, ये वाला. Okay, so beyond an individual, an entire sector is involved. यहाँ पे what is involved? It is immediate family is involved. Your gender is also playing a role. It's not just you as a person. Your gender, your identity is also involved. Okay, यहाँ पे क्या involved है? Family. This here, possibly your geography is also, geography in the sense, Maharashtra, for example, take the case of Maharashtra or Gujarat. Not many people from Gujarat go for UPSC. On the other hand, look at Bihar, UP. Lot of people prepare for. So, क्या ये decision? Do you think this decision whether to go for UPSC or whether to start a business or join a business, does it also not, is it also not related to the geography, the immediate larger community, larger culture that you're part of? Yes. Okay, so if you look at this example, यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? Okay, यहाँ पे there is a personal problem on one end. What is that personal problem? To get into service, to get a job, to serve this country. Okay, this is your personal problem. On the other hand, there is a larger public issue. Okay, what is the public issue? Tell me. The fact that you are getting into service is trying to solve which particular public issue? क्या larger public issue solve कर रहा है? Larger public is good administration. UPSC wants the country to be served by best of the people. You're going to be part of the steel frame of India. We need the best brains to govern, administer, be part of this bureaucracy. You are the people who are going to work in tandem with closely with the ministers, prime minister, chief ministers, as secretaries, as cabinet secretaries, chief secretaries, principal secretaries, right? And or NSA, who is an IPS officer, right? All those people, national security ka sawal ho, you are the people who are going to determine the fate of this country. So this is a larger public issue. Okay, so there is an interlinkage of a public issue and a personal problem. Okay, so when we talk about personal thing, okay, यहाँ पे there is something called agency. What is agency? Agency का मतलब है your own will. आपका own independent will. Is there a choice? It is your will. It is who has chosen to come and prepare for UPSC. But yes, that is also influenced by the society around. That is also influenced by what this public issue is, what the society around you is saying. Okay. So on the one hand, there is an agency. On the other hand is your society. On the other hand, your society. This society is not only the society that you see today, the contemporary society. This is a society which has evolved from पास्ट ऑल्सो. कहाँ से ये इवॉल्व हुआ, क्यों ये सर्विस स्टार्ट हुआ, कहाँ से स्टार्ट हुआ? हाँ, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन था या फिर इंडियन सिविल सर्विस था पहले, right? Britishers have brought in some kind of a system which is continuing. Constitution has given so and so article which secures all India service. Ki no one can be removed beyond the president. It's only the president who can remove the all India services. Okay, you can merely be transferred. Okay, so there is some history also to it. Okay, some history all to it, right? So there is some kind of a biography, right? From history to current contemporary society, there is something to do with what is called as biography. So there is an interlinkage between your individual agency on one hand and a biography on one hand. So what I'm trying to make you understand is that in a way, you can also say that sociological imagination is nothing but trying to have this connection between what is your personal problem and public issue, or what is agency and what is biography. Okay, so for this, what you're doing, obviously you're looking beyond obvious. You're looking beyond obvious. Okay, right? So this is what is called, in a way, sociological imagination. Right? I hope you have understood. Okay. Again, as I mentioned, there was a question also that was asked on sociological imaginations. All these aspects you can bring in. Okay. See, I brought in these specific terms also because these are the terms that have been also specifically and categorically been used by C-right mills also. Okay. But otherwise also, in simple words and simple examples, you might have understood what sociological imagination is, right? So I think you're clear with respect to what is sociology, right? And if you have to be a sociologist, or if you have to be look at things from a sociological point of view, there is an art or a skill that is required, which is called sociological imagination. Is this clear? I hope this is clear. Okay, right? थोड़ा starting है, इसलिए I'm taking थोड़ा longer time. Okay, it might appear for some people that I'm taking a long time, right? But धीरे धीरे, as you become comfortable, because I know a lot of you are not having humanities background. Okay, right? You are quite a lot of you are not from non-humanities. Okay, so these things will take time for you to get comfortable with. Okay, fine. So as we go along, obviously I'll try to increase the pace because we cannot go on and on doing PhDs on topics altogether. Okay, see, one thing that you have to notice also is that there is one principle that you have to follow. Okay, what is that principle? Okay, this is a principle that I apply in many aspects of my life. This is what I was taught during my consulting days also, right? What is that? Good enough, move on. इसका क्या मतलब है? सोशियोलॉजी है, इसका ये मतलब नहीं है यू आर डूइंग ए PhD इन सोशियोलॉजी to get good marks. So much so that you will find quite a lot of PhDs, MSc sociologist, MSc sociology, BSc sociology, पूरा life humanities पढ़ा है, PhD भी कर लिया है, right? Despite all of that, they are not able to score good marks in the sociology optional. On the other hand, what you see is the people like what? I have no background. In the year, because I was in top 20, but मेरे साल में जो rank 1 था, my batchmate who is also my colleague in Tamil Nadu, okay, he's currently a district collector with Nagpattinam, okay, he was ranked topper in sociology and all India rank 8. He has, uska kya background, he is a maths graduate, imagine, maths graduate and MBA. Every year, last year rank 2 also, rank 2 sociology, uska kya background raha hai, right? Or otherwise, no, I'm talking about sociology में highest जो score किए, if you've seen. In the last many years, if you've seen, people have scored really well in sociology. Do they have, are they PhDs? Are they MSc sociologists? No, many of them are engineers. Many of them have some other backgrounds, right? Doctors or any other background. Why is it that that a PhD, while a lot of people with PhD are not able to clear the exam or score well in sociology, but these engineers or this with no background, they are able to knowledge make तो फर्क है ही, right? These people might be having knowledge, good knowledge, right? Yes. So one is definitely writing skills, but you should know that when should I stop something. As an there's something called missing out on woods for trees. Woods for trees. You're trying to go so much deep into a particular topic and try to write something which is otherwise not relevant also, just to show off as if you know a lot of things. Okay, so this is the baggage that lot of people might carry. So hamara job, what is our job, is not to do a PhD in each and every topic. Okay, we are not here to do a PhD, but yes, we are here to go to a level deep. It's not the superficial knowledge. We are going to go to an ideal depth, but we'll have to move on from there. इस टॉपिक को हमने इतने डेप्थ में पढ़ लिया, अब हटो, अगले 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 टॉपिक में मूव ऑन करते हैं, राइट? तो बट वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू सिट एंड डू अ PhD, right? So that is not the purpose. With that only we'll be able to. So there is a fine balance, a golden mean, what you call, right, or middle path that has to be taken to score well in this examination. Okay, we are ultimately we are here not to become PhDs in sociology, right? You are not here to get into academics of sociology. You are here to get your name into your desired service, whatever, get into your desired service, whatever your desired service is, right? So you have to follow GMO. That's why I'll keep on increasing the pace. Okay, जितना जरूरी है उतना ही हम डिस्कस करेंगे, but at the same time it is not the superficial knowledge that we are going to gain. Okay, fine. So this is what sociological imagination is, right? Now, as a homework, what you can do is that you try to apply end में ही सोचो थोड़ा देर. Okay, people have seen, some of you have seen Panchayat season. Has anyone seen Panchayat 3? So those people who have seen the latest season must know this lady, Amma ji. Okay. तो अभी आप ना you try to apply sociological imagination and apply this sociological imagination to this scheme, or think about whether this, because यहाँ पे what I'm trying to do is, sociological imagination क्या है, एक individual problem है, एक personal problem, you are linking it with the larger public issue. तो यहाँ पे इस बूढ़ी अम्मा जी का problem क्या, what is her problem? To find a पक्का house under Pradhanmantri Gramin Awas Yojana. Okay, this is a personal problem. But what is the larger public issue? The larger public issue for the government is to give homes, build homes for the poor, homeless, okay, to deal with the problem of homelessness. And if it is Gramin, then homelessness in rural areas. This is the larger public issue. Okay, to solve this large public issue only is your Panchayat Sachiv, the character, no, Jitu. जितेंद्र कुमार. ओके, आई इनफैक्ट हैपन टू अब रिसेंटली उसका एक और ये भी देख लिया मैं, कोटा फैक्ट्री आल्सो हैव सीन इट. ओके फाइन. दिस गाय इज मोर लाइक योर द मेन स्टार ऑफ ओटीटी और स्टार ऑफ डिजिटल मीडिया. ओके, ठीक है. हाँ, so you apply this kind of a thing, because again this example is there in NCERT also. Okay, so again I borrowed from part from Panchayat, part from NCERT. Now आपका होमवर्क है कि इसके ऊपर थोड़ा सोचो कि क्या आप सोच सकते हो. ओके, कि between these two things, what all things I can look at from a different aspects. Does her caste come into play? Does her social background come into play? Okay, does a part of India come into play? The kind of politics that comes into play, right? All those things you just have a sociological imagination and build over it. Okay, so it will take a break because the session is planned for 2.5 hours. I planned at least. Okay, तो एक छोटा सा ब्रेक लेते हैं. It is 11:40. We'll come back at 11:45. Is that fine? Okay, 11:45, 5 minutes break, and we can maybe stretch till 12:30, 12:30ish. Okay, we have some 40 minutes more to discuss. ठीक है, चलिए. So take a break for 5 minutes. Whatever. Some people who hate coffee or tea might want to have something else in the meantime. Others might want to have coffee or tea. Right? चलिए. Okay. ठीक है. So I think things are fairly clear until now. Any questions on the things that we discussed until now? Any pressing questions that you have? Okay, ठीक है, चलिए. If so, we'll move on now. Now, there is one question. This question is there. Okay, this was asked by UPSC. Okay, now you tell me. I'm going to give you an option because see, we are discussing that. See, my job or your intention, my intention. Okay, Gurneet Kaur. Okay, biography. Uh, what is biography? What do you understand by biography? Otherwise, also biography dictionary meaning. Yeah. Story. Yes. Uh, Life story. Very good. Okay. So when we're discussing about society at one end, okay, when we're discussing about public issue at one end, okay, we have to look at things not only from current context. जैसे civil services, solving the problem of finding the best fit for today is not only we are not looking only from contemporary world's point of view. It has evolved. यानी आज का सिविल सर्विस या आज का ये प्रॉब्लम सोसाइटी का जो प्रॉब्लम है has something to do with the complete evolution. That means I'm trying to emphasize this fact that this society is not static. This society is dynamic. It is changing with time. It has its own story, life story, as one of you mentioned. Okay, so that is why it is called biography. That is why this term biography is used. Okay, you're seeing society not just as a snapshot in time, one snapshot. It has a baggage, it has a history, it has evolved from one with time and it has reached. And तो आज का सोशल प्रॉब्लम को समझने के लिए आपको उसका एवोल्यूशन, उसके बायोग्राफी को भी देखना होगा. दैट इज व्हाई दिस टर्म. ओके, आई होप आई clarified, Gurmeet. Okay. वेरी गुड. यस यस महक. गुड. ठीक है, चलिए. नाउ ये एक this is one question that has been asked by UPSC in the past. Now I have some options for you. I've told you that, see, my intention is not only to help you score well in sociology. Okay. See, you should not only aim to score well in sociology. That anyways you have to do. My intention is also to help you somehow get that extra edge in other papers. Somehow, if I'm able to help you get the 20 to 30 marks extra across all papers, let's say if you're able to use this knowledge in your GS papers, okay, and if required essay also, and somehow what if there is some question on this in interviews, because in interviews also there is sometimes they might only discuss a lot of things about your optionals for that matter. Okay, some people are asked questions on optional subject and there would be something on some social issue only. There will be lot of at length there will be discussions. Okay, so that might also, whatever you learn here will invariably be of some use. So my intention is not just to help you here. Somehow if you're able to squeeze in that extra 20-30 marks in across all the GS papers and other papers also, then that is so. That is why it is whenever I discuss whatever things, I'll also highlight the fact that also makes sense. That's why the fact that I teach also GS, okay, the fact that I also am partly involved with all the other phases, okay, is only to highlight these things कि कैसे जीएस का आप ऑप्शनल में यूज करोगे, कैसे ऑप्शनल का आप जीएस में यूज करोगे, all of those things. Okay, fine. Now if you look at this guy also, no, this who is this rank 2 ka Animesh, okay, fairly good score in sociology and fairly good score in GS also. So you will find सी क्यों आपको लगता है, इफ यू लुक एट द कन्वर्जन रेट ऑल्सो, look at UPSC has uploaded, UPSC की साइट में जाओ, it has annual reports, okay, but annual report till 2020 तक है. If you look at the annual report, there is something called conversion rate, कि all the people who have written mains with a particular optional, what percentage have made it to the final list. Okay, if you look at those things, आपका ये जो है ना, sociology is one of the better optionals. क्यों ऐसा है कि across many years, okay, if you look at the conversion ratio, sociology is in a safe zone. It is one of the better performing optional. ऐसा क्यों है? Most likely it is because कि यार those people are able to also score well in GS or let's say SC because of the knowledge. क्योंकि उनको फायदा सिर्फ सोशो में ही नहीं मिला है. They have gained in other areas also, ultimately increasing their chances to find the name in the overall list. ठीक है? So that is why. So I'll be, as we go along, you should be aware, you should be open of the fact that how will I be using these things in somewhere in GS paper? What is the overlap between GS and sociology that you have to be aware of? Okay, fine. Now this question has been asked. Rang, yes. Yes. Rang has a question. Is there a probability? Yes. Repetition of previous year questions? Yes. Especially in optional. Take any optional. It's not just with sociology. You take any optional. There is a chance of repetition. At least some aspects getting repeated. A question might be framed in a different phraseology will be used to frame a question, but core topic might be same thing. Yes, right? So, okay, more so with the optional. So that is why we have a separate dedicated person for DPQs. We have a dedicated session altogether on Fridays, right, for DPQs. And most of those questions of DPQs are also PYQs. क्यों हमने अलग से वो session अलग ही रखा है, right? And a dedicated person to go through all of those things for you, right? Is for that only. So every Saturdays are meant for that, okay? And those questions, many of them are PYQs only. You getting it? ठीक है? चलिए, ओके, हाँ, ये क्वेश्चन है. नाउ लुक एट दिस क्वेश्चन. In the light of judicial intervention of live-in relationship, discuss the future of marriage and family in India. Okay, in the light of judicial interventions of live-in relationship, discuss the future of marriage and family in India. Now I will give you an option as to whether this question has been asked in GS paper 1, Indian society. A. Has this question been asked in socio optional paper 1? Has this question been asked in socio optional paper 2? Because paper 1 is general concepts, paper 2 क्या है? Indian sociology. तो इंडिया है तो इंडियन सोशियोलॉजी या फिर नन ऑफ द अबव. आप बताइए क्या है. गुड गुड. So I'm seeing all except for D. Except for D, I'm seeing all. Ankita says B. Gagandeep says A. हाँ, जुडिशियल है तो पॉलिटी हो सकता है. समवन इज लाइक, हाँ, ओके ओके ओके, ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है. द राइट आंसर इज बी. ओके. द राइट आंसर इज बी. ओके. Now, this is where I want to highlight, okay? So, it's not just the interlinkages between GS papers and, see, if you remember, last year का GS वाला आपने questions देखा है? 2023 वाला GS वाला questions देखा है? ठीक है. In Indian society, paper one, okay, in Indian society, paper one, there was one question to do with what? Anyone has seen? Phone cuddling. Okay, good. Was there a question on marriage? Yes. Has anyone seen? Marriage sacrosanct. Very good caution. Okay. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the almost same question is asked in GS paper one, let's say this year or next year or any year. Okay, in future. Agar if this question is put in GS paper one, would it be fine? Is it within the syllabus or not? Tell me. Imagine if this question is asked in GS paper one, quite relevant. It is about Indian society. It is about basic features. Yes or no? Right? You will not feel as if ये क्या पूछ लिया, right? Right? So yes. I'll come to that, Sai Kumar. Yes, whether we should be mentioning judgments or not. Okay. तो ये question आपका Indian society में भी पूछा जा सकता है. This question can be asked in sociology also. And I've told you, sociology paper one में पूछा गया. This was asked in paper one. India hai. The question is on India. So can I not mention something about India in paper one? So this is what I'm trying to highlight now, is that don't have these kind of artificial barriers put in, rigid barriers put in, that if there is a question in paper one, or no, there cannot be a question in sociology paper one with respect to India, or if there is a question in paper one, I should not be talking anything about India because that is only meant for paper two. Similarly, if there is a question on paper two, can I not borrow some things from paper one also? Yes. Okay. So you should not be building these barriers across, whether it is socio 1 and 2, whether it is GS and socio, right? You should not be drawing those barriers. But yes, definitely, there is a difference in the way you write an answer if this question is asked in GS and if this question is asked in sociology. Kya answer different hoga? See, I'm asking you, this question can be asked anywhere. It is within the syllabus if the question is asked in sociology and it is asked in GS. But will the answer be different if it is asked in GS? Yes. Yes. It is going to be different. Okay. So now I will try to just briefly tell you how it is going to be different so that you'll be clear as to what you are trying to do in optional. Because what happens is, right, if you've seen, quite a lot of people have problems scoring good marks in paper two. क्योंकि काफी concepts clarity होती हैं, काफी पढ़ लेते हैं, they read a lot of things, and they have some bit of clarity, they're able to manage to score well in paper one. But all the while it happens that, yeah, sir, I am not able to do well in paper two. What is wrong with me, right? Right? So the reason for not being able to score well in paper two is that either you are making it sound as if like more like GS paper, okay, GS का answer, or either you are trying to write an answer which appears more like only paper one, only about some kind of concept, some kind of theory, some kind of a thinker, all of these things, okay? So that is why you're not able to score well in paper two, okay? But you should know what is the difference, that you should not end up writing a sociology answer which looks more like a GS answer. At the same time, you're not supposed to write your GS answer which looks like a sociology answer. There is something called, because this I keep saying in my GS classes, okay? So GS advanced classes mein I keep saying ki don't come with the baggage, and don't try to flaunt or showcase as if you are an expert of sociology in your GS answers. Okay, if it is just to show off that you know a lot of things in sociology, randomly you are just throwing some names into your GS answer. Okay, that is also some baggage that some people carry. Okay, You have to avoid those things also. Fine. Now, if it is a GS answer, basically what you're going to write, let's suppose, in you're going to, like, again, we will discuss, say, for example, you'll write some have good introduction. Maybe you will set a context by saying that recently there was one news. Has anyone read a news about live-in relationship? What could go as a good introduction? Good introduction. Try to have some kind of a there's no यहाँ पे more than defining what live-in, some people, lot of people, 90-80% of the people will start the answer with live-in relationship is so and so. Okay, so instead of definition you can come up with any other things with respect to definition also, which is, sorry, with respect to, yes, very good. Some recent things, Uttarakhand, yes, because of UCC they are asking people with live-in relationship to get registered. Very good. Any other thing? I've read something in newspaper only recently. It happened in last 1 week or so only. Tell me. There's one. In fact, it is very relevant. It is judicial announcement only, judicial pronouncement only. It is very relevant to this question also. Assam में क्या था? Okay, Assam में was it? हाँ, marriage. No. Was it to do with live-in or marriage? Okay. I think that Assam wala might be to do with inter-religious, interfaith marriage. Interfaith marriage. Maybe a living couple finally deciding to get married. Okay. But there was one verdict of High Court on live-in relationship. Anyone? Recently. One of the High Courts has given one important verdict on live-in relationship. Okay, Achala says property. Okay. Kerala closer. Okay, Aditya is saying Kerala closer, much closer. Okay, not MP. Okay, let me tell you, it is Madras High Court. Okay, what has it is? What did it say? Okay, see, if you have seen in the past from last many years, most of the decisions of whether it is Supreme Court or some of the high courts, they're trying to say that if you look at the judicial pronouncements, they're trying to say that live-in relationship can be considered more like a marriage. Okay, so in which case, if a woman is suffering in live-in relationship, if there is some kind of an abuse, physical abuse, so what happens in marriage? You can take recourse of domestic violence. Okay, you can, if there is a breakdown of marriage, if there is a divorce, then women can seek for maintenance. Okay, what if there is a child that is born out of live-in relationship? So one of the courts have given a verdict saying that in a live-in relationship, if a child is born, the child is a legitimate child. Okay, legitimate. So you have legitimate father likewise. Okay, so more or less like marriage, it is being treated. So until now, if you look at some of the, because there is no separate law, there is no separate law like Hindu Marriage Act or Indian Marriage Act. Okay, there is no law for live-in relationship. It is only through judgments that we can decide on what is to be done with live-in relationship. Okay, with reference, with some precedents only, the courts will take a call. Okay, so these have been the judicial interventions in live-in relationship until now. Okay, so these are some things that you will mention in your body part. Okay, all these things that I've discussed, that yes, a marriage, it is tantamount, it is more or less like marriage. It is, the child born is legitimate. Some of the laws like domestic violence will also apply. These are the points that you will write in the body part. Okay, the recent verdict of High Court is that if one of the person is already married, so what happened is two people, a couple. Okay, this is the symbol that is used for a couple, which we will anyways discuss when we discuss family and kinship. Okay, some people might be knowing already. Huh? CSAT में आपको पता ही होगा, some CSAT questions. Every year there is one question typically in CSAT, yes. Blood relations. I use these diagrams in there also. That's all I used to use. Okay. Yeah. So live-in relationships, yeah, a lot of examples of those things also. One killing the other person, okay, but that is in those instances there is nothing. Courts have not decided anything on live-in relationship per se. Okay, that's purely a case of murder, and the appropriate murder laws are being applied. Okay, so what is this? This kind of relationship. So there is one male person getting married to woman. Now, if this is the case, or for example, हाँ, so ये क्या है? If it is a circle, then it's a female. Okay, this is female. If it is a triangle, it is a male person. But again, uh, or you can, since if you have to, if you're not sure of gender, you can put in, right? We call ego. If you're not sure of gender now, okay, you can use a box. You're not sure of gender now, you can use a box. Okay, so this is a marriage. Double line is a marriage. Okay, if this is what does it mean? Yani, these are two children, two girls born to this couple. Okay, what does single line mean? Single line means siblings. तो यहाँ पे एक चाचा जी हैं, दिस वन चित्तप्पा और what चिन्नाना, what in different languages, okay, of these children. Then this is a grandparent, okay, this is a grandfather, grandmother is no longer there. ये strike किया तो that means grandmother is no longer there, deceased, okay, expired, died. Then if I strike off this, what does it mean? I'm just, because I'll be using this terminology during the classes in future also, and you can use that in answers also. It is a common language, it's a sociological language. Yes, divorce. Okay, if you strike off this double line, it is so you can use in your sociology answers these symbols also, because it's understood. Okay, many people in anthropology also this is used. Fine. तो क्या हुआ, एक relationship, there was a couple married, the man was already married. This man was in a live-in relationship with a woman. Now, most likely the woman is not aware of that fact, or I'm not sure whether she's aware or not. Even if it is she is aware, it does not matter much in terms of live-in relationship. So these two people are in a live-in relationship. Okay. No, obviously court, the matter has come to court on, I think this girl was asking some maintenance, or this girl was asking that this should be treated more like a marriage. Okay. So the question was whether this live-in relationship should be treated more like marriage, which has been the judgment by even Supreme Court or some of the courts. If a couple is living in a common place for many years, they are almost considered like married. Now the court has said that isko to main manunga hi nahi live-in relationship. The judge says this cannot be considered as live-in relationship and not even marriage. Okay, why? Because one person is already married. So you cannot apply the same formula, same rule, same precedents of other cases. Because in all other cases, both were either separated, yani there was no existing legal marriage that was there. Here there is already a legal marriage that is there. So a verdict on this. So this is also something you should be aware now. This also, it becomes important because as a question already pucha hai, this was asked in optional. This can be asked in future in GS also. Fine. Okay. Anyways, so can I not start an answer with some kind of example like that? Recently, Madras High Court has given a verdict. Wo introduction I will write like that. Good introduction that ways. Then body part. Okay. I will write all the points that I've discussed. Some quotes. Now, one of our friend is asking, sir, if I don't remember which quote has said. if I don't remember exactly what is the case, because otherwise these cases are like some person, Suresh versus Union of India, so say Suresh versus so and so, right? ऐसा cases होता है, right? अगर मेरे को वो case याद नहीं है, no problem, okay? Don't worry, okay? You just generally discuss about, right? If you remember the High Court, you mention the name of the High Court. If you don't remember the High Court, right? So one of the High Courts, you say one of the High Court has given so and so verdict. Supreme Court of India, Honorable Supreme Court, Honorable, right, has given so and so verdict. Okay, you write like that. Okay, so in this question also, you have to mention briefly about what were those judicial pronouncements, because question में पूछा गया है judicial intervention. ठीक है, but the main demand, having briefly discussed about that, what is the other important part of the question? You have to discuss about what is the implication on marriage and family. Right now, here also in the body part, I will discuss about how is marriage getting affected, how is family getting affected. I can mention both positive and negative points also. Yes or no? Okay. So give me some examples. For example, common sense के साथ, because you don't have to know a lot of things to write this answer, or at least discuss some aspects. What would be the impact of living relationship on the institution of marriage? Tell me. Especially those pronouncements. Some people say family will get affected, sir. Yes. Child rearing. चाइल्ड लिव इन में चाइल्ड बॉर्न हुआ, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कौन क्या ज्यादा लेगा, उसका इनहेरिटेंस क्या है, family entire is in a toss. Okay, the institution of family might get affected. Okay, yes, family relations, individuals who are part of the family. One of you are saying, what about the mental issue, right? Very good. Okay. Status of women within marriage, पर right, I would say एक कुछ पॉजिटिव भी हो सकता है, because live in relationship is why are people choosing to stay in relationship? It is believed otherwise it's a relatively more equal agreement. Marriage के comparison में the status of man and woman in a live in relationship is more equal than, so women find it better, especially women find it better. Okay, right, in some cases. So they're on from the sense of freedom, yes. Right. There are certain advantages of living relationship. Okay, so there could be a threat to the institution of marriage per se, or maybe marriage itself will find a new meaning altogether, a new meaning of marriage itself, or marriage as an institution will reform itself. Okay, so these are the various things. Just a second, right? Yeah. Huh. So you will discuss these points on family side, on marriage side. What about the sanctity? Because the question last year was on the sanctity of marriage. Remember, the question was what is the sanctity of marriage? उसमें आप लिव इन के रिलेशनशिप के बात में बात करोगे, राइट? तो ये सब चीजें, all these things that you will write in your, if it is a question that is asked in GS. And finally conclusion क्या लिख सकते हो? हाँ, maybe something like you can again quote examples of UCC, Uttarakhand, or what could be done to maybe some kind of a law should be framed to even protect, safeguard, especially the interests of women in live-in relationship, something like that, some kind of futuristic things that you will talk about in conclusion. Okay, this is the way you write if this question is asked in GS. Agar now that this question is asked in sociology, what are the things that you will add? See, all of these things are relevant. All these things are relevant in case of sociology answer also. The things that we have discussed, very good, very good. Okay, Ishwar, yes. So what is missing that will now become part of an answer if it is sociologies, right? Yes, mainly your thinkers. Okay, what has Marx spoken about? If Marx were to be there, or a Marxist, someone who believes in Marxism would have a view on live-in relationship or these judgments on the institution of marriage. What would be the view of a feminist? Okay, we'll discuss what all this. What will be a view of so and so functionalist, let's say, and a thinker like Durkheim, okay, or a thinker like Talcott Parsons, or any other thinker whose views on family or marriage is not. So these are the things that will be important. Okay. So beyond these points, you have to incorporate these thinkers, or you have to, if you don't know the names exactly, you will say so and so perspective according to a functionalist, according to a structure functionalist, according to a Marxist, according to a feminist, right? All those things you have to give in their views also, right? Okay, so this is how a sociological answer will be different from a GS answer. Okay, and it is our duty that you are aware about how to write a sociological, how to build sociological perspective. This is what we will learn in the course to develop sociological perspectives, how to bring in thinkers. Okay, so what we will discuss is the how to go about preparing part. Okay, today we have spent a lot of time on what aspect. Okay, so the how to prepare the about how to develop the sociological aspect will quickly breeze through the syllabus also to understand how you can also have a correlation. What exactly? So we'll just quickly spend some time on what the syllabus. We are trying to decode the syllabus. Okay, we will decode the syllabus briefly. Obviously, we have entire 4 months to discuss what exactly these things are. But we will spend some time decoding. We'll spend some time on how to go about, right? How to go about building content, how to go about preparing. Okay, these things we will discuss in the session that is meant for क्या बोलते हैं, if you look at the schedule, I'll open the schedule again. Let's see. Just a second. Okay, yeah, sorry, someone was knocking on the door. Sorry. चलिए. हाँ, so we will discuss because you have to understand relatively which all topics are relatively important. So while we go through these things also, we will go through जैसे each item, right? All the chapters, will decode the syllabus. We'll go through all of them briefly. We'll discuss briefly as to what all things are and how we are going to prepare for it. What all reference material we will be following, or you should be having handy. All those, how do we go about preparation? These things we will be discussing on this day. Okay. Mm, ये बात 8th. Okay, how to plan decoding the syllabus we will discuss on 8th. Tomorrow, an important other important thing before we actually start these sessions is your NCRTs. So what we will do tomorrow is that 11th K 2 NCRTs are there. We will quickly walk through together. Okay, so I'll walk through quickly different chapters of both the NCRTs, trying to because unless you know, see, जो भी हम पढ़ते हैं, whatever we read, right? Unless we know how is it relevant for my preparation, you don't get motivation to read something. You don't get a sense out of what you're reading. Okay, so reading NCRTs is very important, just like reading NCRTs is important for GS. I'm pretty sure you must have gone through NCRTs for GS, some of the NCRTs. You may not have gone through these NCRTs, which is otherwise important for Indian society GS 1 or 2. If not all four, at least two of them is important for क्या बोलते हैं आपका GS 1 के society के point of view. Okay, but still we want everyone to go through, because it is very important even for optional. So much so that, see, I've decided to go with an optional only after I've gone through the NCRTs. How did I decide to go with sociology? Right, I've gone through few chapters of NCRT. That is when I realized, okay, it is possibly making some sense for me. Okay, I can relate it with some items mentioned in the syllabus. Okay, so this exercise we will do. We'll spend some, let's say, 1.5 hour or 2 hours tomorrow. Okay. See, notes writing. Okay. Because, see, this dictation thing. I'm not a fan of this dictation. Okay. That, okay, now write. I'll whatever I'm right. So dictation of notes, dictation of class notes is not going to happen, because anyways, we are going to upload material notes. Okay, for a sample, I will show you. Okay, so beyond what is being delivered as part of PPTs, there is an exhaustive material already that we are going to upload. Okay, जैसे जैसे class खत्म होगा, the moment a particular chapter is done, we'll upload the corresponding chapter. Okay, so this is your value added material. So I don't want you guys to waste time in the class. I'm dictating for hours together, right? Half an hour, 1 hour. So in each class, if I'm only dictating for half an hour, 1 hour, there's no sense wasting so much of time. Okay, so let us use this session's time more on discussions. You already have material, so much of material. We have the value added material also. Beyond that also, I will keep telling you which all materials to be referred. For some chapters, I'll ask you to go through Horlumbus and Holborn. You're getting it, okay? For some chapters in paper 2, I'll ask you to go through, let's say, some thinkers ka BK Nagla book, okay? Here and there. So wherever required, I will tell you which material. All these discussions we'll have in next 8 session, okay? So, but these sessions will not spend time on dictation. I understand, especially in some parts of or in older days, I understand. Okay, in some older days, these days, see, in this era, right? If you have seen last many years, nobody has. These days, people have realized that it is merely waste of time, right? Dictating. See, it is easier for me to dictate because already content is there. I'll just read those out. Already the content is there. Okay, I will just evaluate material. I just have to sit for half an hour and read that out. Okay, so there is no value addition neither for, okay, in a way it is easier for me to do those things. But I would rather spend that time discussing concepts, all those things. Okay, fine. So that is clear. Yeah, Telegram channel, give us some time, okay, because actual classes in a way are going to start in 10 more days, right? By then the channel will be created. Don't worry, okay? Telegram channel will be created. अभी तक तो है नहीं. Okay? As of now, there is no Telegram channel, but yes, in a week or two, or in 2 weeks, we will have that also. Yes, because I understand you might be having some immediate concerns कि ये वो upload नहीं किया है, वो upload नहीं किया है, फलाना चीज, right? All those things will, because in last session I remember, okay, some glitches used to happen. कभी कोई class का someone had logged out of the classes, so the people did not have how to approach, who to approach. They used to post the message on Telegram, so we used to again try to ensure the problem is fixed, right? Yes. So yeah, so for those aspects, yes, Telegram is there. Yeah, we will discuss standard books and all. Okay. Wait for that session. See, I mentioned all those standard books here and here. Okay. So but tomorrow, what we'll do is tomorrow we will go through the NCRTs. So NCRTs are uploaded on the portal. Can any one of you try to access the portal and see if you're able to download the NCRTs? आप में से कोई? Good. Okay. So for now, 11th NCRTs, both of them you download today. So we will go through them tomorrow. Okay. And as we go along, you will realize the importance. Once you realize the importance, you will know that it is important to read. So what your homework is going to be until before we start actual classes is that as per the schedule, I want you guys to spend these days. Obviously, you're not spending entire day for optional. Okay? You're preparing for GS also. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all these days, I want you guys to spend time completing 11th NCRTs. Will you be able to do it? 5 दिन में 2 NCRTs. Time कम है, but still, हाँ. At least जितना हो सके at least. ठीक है? Right? तो similarly on 8th and 9th, 8th को हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे कि कैसे प्लान करना है, सिलेबस डिकोड करेंगे. ओके. एंड 9th को हम लोग 12th के 2 NCRTs पिक करेंगे. एंड सो before 15th, when I want you guys to be comfortable with NCRTs, right? Because NCRT ka language is also very important. Why we insist on reading NCRTs, whether it is for GS and or optional, is the kind of the language that is being used in NCRT. You will get lot of insights from there. Okay? ठीक है? चलिए. Fine. You can, online is also fine. I'm not insisting on anything is fine because I understand, okay? Some people are comfortable going through the PDF on the tab. चलिएगा, उसमें भी चलेगा. या फिर if some people have physical copy, that is also fine. If you have a printout or if you have book itself, NCRT, or that is also fine. Anything is fine, okay? टू आवर क्लासेस, सी वेडनेसडे से लेके नहीं है क्लासेस. वेडनेसडे, थर्सडे, फ्राइडे, सैटरडे, संडे को क्लास नहीं होगा ये वाला. ओके. तो वो टाइम में क्या कह रहा हूँ, यू प्लीज स्पेंड दैट टाइम इन रीडिंग एनसीईआरटी. एक्चुअल क्लासेस वी आर ओनली स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम 15th. ठीक है. तो एटलीस्ट एनसीईआरटी के लिए आपको एक्सक्यूज नहीं होना चाहिए. हाँ, बट यस, आई अंडरस्टैंड. वंस द सेशन स्टार्ट्स, how do I will discuss those things in the next, in the 8th वाला सेशन में we'll discuss as to how we are going to plan. Okay. Maybe if required, I'll use an Excel sheet also. कि कैसे you can plan things out. Okay. I will borrow maybe the Excel sheet of Abhijit sir, because if you've seen Abhijit sir ke plan wala sessions, okay, there is a plan wala session for GS also, overall also. Usme there is a column for optional. Okay. So maybe I will borrow that plan, and I'll use that as a sample as to how you can plan many things. That yes, obviously you have to spend some time beyond classes also. Okay. These 2.5 hour classes are not sufficient. You have to spend some time for revision. You have to refer to certain books that I mentioned here and there. वो सब आपको in addition to classes you have to do. We are trying to give you additional notes also. उसको पढ़ने के लिए भी थोड़ा टाइम होगा. वो कैसे प्लान आउट करेंगे वो सब हम डिस्कस करेंगे. ठीक है, चलिए तो कल मिलते हैं फिर से 10 o'clock. Okay, we'll go through together. We'll quickly go through NCRT ka chapters, and those NCRTs you are supposed to read in the next 5 days. Similar exercise again we will do in the 2 days, the next Monday and Tuesday. ठीक है. हाँ, right. So last thing, experiences. One question that one of you asked, why? Okay, I would want you guys to watch that video of me, Abhijit sir interviewing me. एक वीडियो है, एक दोनों का एक पॉडकास्ट है, more of an interview, so you'll understand my journey. By now थोड़ा बहुत सेंस आ गया होगा कि as long as if you are enjoying something that you're doing, okay, whatever it could be, it does not matter what you are doing. Okay. So in my case, I've told you, if you have seen my journey, 5 years, I've worked in private sector uh, at different levels, okay, different places. Then 4.5 years of service. For some reason, the kind of things I like, or I'm a little more of an introvert that ways, or I like more individual freedom that ways. That way, that is the reason why I've chosen to stay alone, all of those things. I like more of freedom. Maybe I might even like a lot of traveling also, all those things. Okay. So for some reason, I realized maybe, and also some, because it also depends on where exactly you are put in. हर किसी का similar situation नहीं होता, right? It's not that, right? Only rare, it's a rare example. It's not many people who resign from the services. If you look at the attrition, it's very less, right? Say there has been some people who have resigned from many services, yes, and some of them have even come to teaching also, but it is obviously not common. Okay, so even I felt ki between the service that I'm in, so you similarly you cannot generalize my experience and say that everyone is going to be in a similar situation, right? You as an individual are a completely different person than what I am. Okay, the experience that you're going to go through in the service is going to be completely different from, right? So it's a different game altogether that you are playing and what I have been playing. Okay, so for some reason, and for many of the other factors also, I felt I'm better off having something wherein I can learn, which is more academic in nature, where I have a fairly more amount of freedom in terms of what I'm going to teach or what I'm going to learn, where I'm going to be there, all of those things. Okay, if you take into all of those into account, I felt maybe this service is not for me. Okay, not an easy decision, I know, because that also has taken some time, because I have even asked for a different posting also. I've got a different posting, but somehow things did not. I felt that there also there are some constraints. Okay, all those things have happened. So, but again, it's a very personal journey one goes through. Okay, and therein you take a call whether you can. But one thing I can say that if you ask me, sir, अगर ये वाला hindsight आपके पास होता है, with this hindsight knowledge, in a way, or if if you were put in a similar situation that you have to decide that will you prepare for exam again, I would say I would definitely prepare again. In a way, this is also a preparation, no? I'm more or less like an aspirant, part aspirant only when I'm teaching also, okay? Right? So if you ask me whether you regret preparing for this exam, definitely not. One is preparation, definitely not. I'm glad I have prepared for this exam. I am glad I've been in the service, though I lesser time than what I would have thought of. I would have loved to continue in a way, yes, right? So even if you looked at the about 5 years of time that I've spent, including the 2 years of training, okay, amazing. The best part with ask any person, even you ask a person who has spent 30 years in service and ask a retired IAS officer, they will say the training is the most and as in the best period of their life in a way because 2 years of period. Everything, if you ask me, the entire effort journey, because it has been a 3 attempt journey, lot of hard work. I've told you emotional turmoil had to go through because of the failure after the second attempt, coming back from the ashes, starting from zero, new syllabus altogether, all those things, and preparing, not an easy thing. Despite going through all those hardships and clearing, okay, is it worth leaving? I would say the training itself has given me all the things to prepare in life, prepare for life, okay? The time that you spend in LBSME itself is worth the effort that you spend in preparing, okay? Okay? Everything beyond that is a bonus. This is what I keep saying to people. यार दो साल जो आप स्पेंड करते हो ट्रेनिंग में, वो itself आपका आपका क्या बोलते हैं, you have gotten the return already of how many ever years you have spent in preparation, okay? उससे ज्यादा जितना भी आप you are able to enjoy this journey, everything else is a bonus. So that way I've lived 2 years of bonus already, okay? And people continue till 30 years, 20 years, some people continue for 10 years, some people take VRS after 15 years. Many examples, all those things are there. But if you ask me how is your journey, I never regret the fact that I've spent time. I've gotten to learn many things being part of the IAS, okay? Lot of things about society per se, lot of things about individuals, people per se, what goes in their mind, because you see, no other profession offers you an opportunity to interact with the different kind of people. As an IAS officer, imagine you are, on the one hand, you are interacting with the poorest of the poor person on the ground level. On the other hand, you are interacting with the richest of the rich. For in order you're interacting with the rich so as to enable, okay, let's say you are in a commerce department, right? You are in industries department. You want the rich people also to contribute for the overall nation building. So you are interacting on a regular basis with all those people. You are interacting with people with other interests, okay, right? Politicians, you're interacting. So the kind of world that you are exposed as part of more so IAS, I would say, to some extent IPS, right? I can hardly imagine any profession offering you all those things. It's a different choice altogether as to how long or to what extent you want to take. Okay. Yeah, stress तो हर स्ट्रेस तो होता है, हर हर फील्ड में होता है, यहाँ पे भी होता है. This is also stress. There is some bit of stress for me because I have to, every class I have to prepare. Every class I have to see to it that there are questions which might be difficult for me to answer also, right? So there is a stress here also. Where is stress? कहाँ पे नहीं है? Stress is there everywhere. हाँ? यार स्ट्रेस नहीं है तो फिर हाँ, मजा भी क्या है रे? You want to get into a job because that is has some challenges, okay? Any job with challenges will involve some stress. अब कितना स्ट्रेस आप ले सकते हो आप पे डिपेंड कर सकते आप डिपेंड करता है all of those things, right? Okay, fine. Anyways, don't worry, huh? We will have many anecdotes, okay? There are so many things I would love to share, anecdotes, partly to motivate you, partly to also make you understand things better, because the knowledge that I have acquired being part of IAS, right, about the society, about many things, right, those things will be first-hand knowledge that I have, will give you much more clarity. For example, a classic case of, we will study what is bonded labor, okay? हम लोग पढ़ेंगे, सोशियोलॉजी में पढ़ेंगे, क्वेश्चंस हैव बीन आस्क्ड इन सोशियोलॉजी आल्सो, ओके? तो जब मैं बॉन्डेड लेबर टीच करूंगा, इट इज नॉट ओनली द बुकिश थिंग्स दैट आई एम गोइंग टू टीच, आई विल टेल यू व्हाट माय एक्सपीरियंस हैज बीन in dealing with bonded labor first hand. Okay, so when I discuss those things, things will be much more relatable for you. Okay. Okay, so you will remember. See, my intention is not to showcase that I have done so, and my intention is that when I discuss my journey, you don't forget those things. जैसे मुझे भी अभी याद है कि जब जब मेरे फैकल्टी ने कुछ एनेक्डोट्स यूज किया हो, कुछ लाइव एग्जांपल्स यूज किए हो, अपने पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस, वो कॉन्सेप्ट मेरे को अभी तक याद है. You getting it? So that is what I'll try to do based on my experience. Okay. Otherwise, also beyond services, also a lived experience of me, because I worked in other areas also. That is also helped me to understand in retrospective effect. Okay. Many things about the society. I've lived in UK. Okay. Okay. For example, I've lived in for some time uh, in a lodge. It is called lodge or a hotel, which is run by a lesbian couple. A 60-year-old lesbian couple have been running. So what were my attitudes towards LGBT community? Okay. Has it changed with time, or what was then? Okay. So a world is different, all those things. So all those things I'll be sharing, even if it is not precisely your, क्या बोलते हैं? Don't worry. Okay, Revant. Okay, we'll discuss those things also. We will discuss. Remind me tomorrow, Revant. Maybe we will take. I will use one of the newspapers. What Revant is asking is, sir, I'm not able to understand the utility of reading editorials, whether it is from the GS point of view or sociology point of view. So tomorrow, maybe what I'll do is, I'll pick up one of the sample newspapers, and I'll pick up one of the editorial, and I'll make you understand as to how this editorial can be relevant for your sociology. ठीक है, चलिए. हाँ, सारे क्वेश्चंस आज ही पूछ लोगे तो फिर अगले 4 महीने करेंगे क्या? हाँ, if you ask all the question today only, what will do for the next 4 months? Yeah, you have an access to recording. Yes, the recording is there. Yeah, I think uh, at least 2 to 3 times you can watch each video. Huh? I don't think you would need more than that. Neither do you have. Yeah, Aditi. Yeah, I understand. Working professional. Yeah, if you're not able to join the live class, the advantage of live class is it is going to be interactive. It is going, the more interactive, the chances of you remembering is more. But still, the advantage of recorded session is your own convenient time. आप अपने convenient में देख सकते हो. Some people watch it 1.25x, 1.5x. So some people think they can save. So both have their own pros and cons. So you have the luxury of both. It is up to you, right? It is up to you. चलिए, okay. Let's meet tomorrow then. 10 o'clock. चलिए, चलिए. Okay. Take care. Okay. Thank you. Thank you guys also for making it interactive, right? Quite a, I would say, energetic batch. You guys are quite knowledgeable already. Yes. चलिए.